Chapter 721. Xiao Xiao, third brother said that you're like a rock in a cesspool. In the next second, Xing Bowen was thrown out of the study, leaving only Xing Zhao's warning in his ears. You're not allowed to enter this place from now on. Xing Bowen rubbed his nose. Although he had suffered in front of Xing Xiao, there was nothing he could do. Although this king of hell was his younger brother, no one could afford to offend him. When Mu Qiqi saw this, she immediately laughed out loud. However, in the next second, Xing Xiao grabbed her legs and slapped her butt. Who allowed you to let him in? Didn't you ask me to talk to him about something? You can't talk downstairs. Of course I can, but didn't you specifically tell me not to talk in the study? Mu Qiqi felt wronged. Tomorrow, I'll get someone to move the sofa he sat on out and throw it away. Recently, because of Mu Qiqi's birthday gift for the old man, this old man had started to be paranoid. No matter who it was, as long as it was a man or a male, he would despise them if they got close to Mu Qiqi. What's wrong with the sofa? The sofa is pretty good. You're just unreasonable. Can't you remember what we did on that sofa? Mu Qiqi's face immediately turned red. This man probably felt that his private space had been broken into and was unhappy. I know. Change to a more comfortable one that suits your height. Mu Qiqi quickly admitted defeat. You're not angry now, are you? Have you explained everything to him? Xing Xiao calmed down and picked her up, letting her sit on his lap. I've made it clear. I've also instructed him not to look for that third master long. Those who have been in the underworld have lived a life of danger. They won't let him go just because he's a member of the Xing family. Have you found out what kind of shady business Xing Kai is up to? Yes, third master long, he should be preparing a birthday gift. Xing Xiao replied. Let him come. I also want to see if he can improve after hiding for so long. He can use those dangerous people and play such a big game of chess. I just hope he won't disappoint me. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Zhao's neck and laughed heartily. By the way, do you know that Feng Shanshan has moved in too? Xing Xiao said nothing. Xing Xiao would pay close attention to everything within a 5-mile radius of the Banyan courtyard. How could he not know that Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan had moved in? However, even if Feng Shanshan didn't mention it, he knew about it because he and Tang Yan had already reached a consensus to cooperate. Since you knew, why didn't you tell me? Is there anything in the world that you don't know? There's one thing. I still don't know what you're going to give her, Xing Xiao replied. Mu Qiqi snickered. I can't tell you. Anyway, you've already drunk a few buckets of vinegar in the past few days. Do you care about drinking for a few more days? Xing Xiao flipped over and pressed her down on the sofa. He directly lifted her pajamas. Look at how arrogant you've been recently. Are you waiting for me to teach you a lesson? Yeah, I'm waiting, Mu Qiqi said fearlessly. Since you have such a request, of course I will satisfy you. After saying that, Mu Qiqi saw the man unbuttoning his shirt, revealing his firm and beautiful chest muscles. Then, she felt her mind go blank, unable to contain anything else. After Xing Bowen returned home, he sat at home and thought about the strangeness of the two women for a long time. Speaking of which, it was a fight between love rivals, but it was indeed inconsistent with their personalities. What kind of game were they playing? Unable to figure it out, Xing Bowen took out his phone and sent a text message to Ren Yufei. Are you asleep? Not yet. I'm working overtime, Ren Yufei replied quickly. Do I give you that much work? Xing Bowen expressed his doubt. Hurry up and go to sleep. Don't do it anymore. At most, I'll do it myself tomorrow. What kind of CEO makes his own schedule? Ren Yufei said helplessly. Why aren't you sleeping yet? Thinking about things, and also, you. When Rin Yufei saw the last 3 words, her heart began to race. You don't usually say such things. That's because I now believe that when I meet someone I like, I'll be able to figure it out on my own. Xing Bowen put down his phone and suddenly had an impulse. I still have to continue working overtime. Then do you want to eat supper? Rin Yufei looked down from the apartment. It was already late at night. Where would anyone be selling it? I don't want anything, Mr. CEO. I just want you to go to sleep quickly. Xing Bowen did not continue. There was no movement for a long time, but just when Rin Yufei thought that he had fallen asleep, he suddenly called. Come down. Ha! I'm here to deliver supper to you. Rin Yufei quickly put on her coat and went downstairs. She saw Xing Bowen leaning against the car with supper in his hand. Why did you come personally? I'm worried about having someone deliver it to my door. Xing Bowen smiled and opened the car door. I went a long way to buy it. Do you want some? Why don't you come up? Rin Yufei pointed at her apartment and said, It's so cold down there. Isn't that my goal? Xing Bowen did not hold back at all. He locked the car and followed behind Rin Yufei. Rin Yufei still blushed. She turned around unnaturally and said to Xing Bowen, You've changed. He was no longer the Xing Bowen who was very indifferent when it came to relationships. When Xing Bowen heard this, the corners of his mouth naturally curled up. Of course, he had to keep the little notebook that taught people how to fall in love in his arms. He had specially searched for it online. Soon, the two of them arrived at the door of Rin Yufei's apartment. Rin Yufei took out a brand new pair of slippers and placed them in front of Xing Bowen. Come in. Xing Bowen changed his shoes and entered the door. He could not help but look around. It was a small bedroom with a warm beige color. It was filled with the soft scent of a woman, making people feel very comfortable. My house is very simple, I like it very much. Xing Bowen sat down at the dining table and put down the supper in his hand. Bring out the documents. I'll help you. Then, you can tell me what to do while you eat. Big CEO, did you come here just to be my assistant's assistant? I just want you to rest early. Rin Yufei did not stand on ceremony. For now, Xing Bowen was the boyfriend she could rely on. So, she went to the room and brought out all the company's documents. I'm still sorting them out, but you'll need them tomorrow. You have to work so late every day. Rin Yufei opened the packaging of the supper and shook her head. Not really, that's it. Xing Bowen snorted. Why don't you slack off? Now I've even given you a secretary. Chapter 722. I don't feel at ease leaving my matters to others, Xing Bowen replied. But I can't bear to let you do so many things, so I think, if I'm free, I'll try my best to help you. You're up to no good. Rin Yufei glared at Xing Bowen as she ate. After Xing Bowen finished laughing, he also thought of Mu Qiqi's suspicions, so he asked Rin Yufei, Yufei, huh? After thinking about what happened between you and who ran today, I still feel that something is very wrong. Can you tell me why you put on that show? After Rin Yufei heard this, she stopped what she was doing and hesitated for a few seconds. What show? Although I don't know what happened and you have to hide it from me, I guess the situation must be very serious. Recently, Eighth Brother has been investigating a man named Xing Bin and also found out who Huang Yao's new product was leaked to. We feel that this matter has something to do with Xing Kai. If it's also related to him, then don't hide it from me. Rin Yufei was silent for a while and did not say anything. You still can't tell me. I have my reasons. Because once Xing Bowen found out about this, he would definitely not allow the two women to take the risk. Then do you want me to ask who ran? But I hope that you can tell me about this personally. Xingbowen's tone was very gentle, but his attitude was very firm. Do you also think that I'm a man who can only hide under a woman's wings? Of course not, Ren Yufei quickly retorted. In my heart, you're the best man. Then tell me what's going on. Don't forget that the Xing family now has a female Zhuge. Chi-Chi can tell at a glance that there's something wrong between the two of you. Do you think you can successfully hide it from others? Ren Yufei took a deep breath. In the end, she still lost. Although what we did might seem a little stupid to you, this is the only thing we can do for you as women. After spending some time, Ren Yufei told Xingbowen everything that had happened. Xingbowen, on the other hand, became more and more silent. Am I that useless in your hearts? That's not it. We were just thinking that there's a shortcut. That's not a shortcut. That's working with the devil. You don't know when you'll fall into the abyss. I don't need you to pay such a price, Xingbowen said to Ren Yufei firmly and unquestionably. But I also want to do something for you. Before she could finish her sentence, Xingbowen grabbed Ren Yufei and pulled her onto his lap. Ren Yufei was stunned and felt her body start to heat up. I'm not so weak that I need you women to take the bullet for me. After saying that, Xingbowen pinched Ren Yufei's chin and couldn't help kissing her. Ren Yufei's limbs were stiff, especially her hands. She had nowhere to put them. Seeing her like this, Xingbowen felt that she was extremely cute. He couldn't help but close his eyes and deepen the kiss. Being kissed by someone you like, what kind of surprise is that? Ren Yufei felt as if her heart was about to jump out of her throat. However, this man still bit her lips and refused to let go. This kiss lasted for a long time. It was so long that both of them were used to each other's taste before Xingbowen let go of Ren Yufei. It's so sweet. Xingbowen sighed. What? The pastries you ate just now. Xingbowen pointed at the corner of her mouth and said, I've taken all the documents back. You should rest early tonight. Xingkai, you're not allowed to get involved in this matter anymore. I'll discuss it with eighth brother. I won't allow you two women to take the blame for me. Ren Yufei got up from Xingbowen's body and nodded. I'll listen to you. Xingbowen held the documents and kissed Ren Yufei on the forehead again. Only then did he leave quickly because he felt that he had a very primitive impulse as a male. Ren Yufei sent Xingbowen off and closed the door. She looked at the supper on the table in a daze. She had never thought that she would be so happy. Especially when she thought of the long kiss just now. Ren Yufei quickly covered her face because she felt as if her entire body was burning. After Xingbowen left Ren Yufei's apartment, he went to the Hu family's house. The butler brought Xingbowen to the living room of the Hu family's house, which surprised Papa Hu. Third young master, why are you here, uncle? Is Hu ran home? She's upstairs. I'll call her for you. After all, the two of them had broken up, so they should avoid arousing suspicion. After Papa Hu went up, Hu ran came down soon after. This was the beginning of the discord between the two of them. This was the first time Xingbowen took the initiative to look for Hu ran. Seeing that the atmosphere between the two of them was a little strange, Papa Hu took the initiative to return to his room, leaving space for the two young people. Why are you looking for me? Are you here for your new girlfriend? Hu ran crossed her arms and said to Xingbowen with a proud attitude. Yufei told me everything. Xingbowen looked at Hu ran and answered. Everything. She really can't hold it in. It was Chi-Chi who saw through your acting, so do you think you can really hide it from Xingkai? Xingbowen asked Hu ran in return. Xiao Ran, you have nothing to do with this matter. There's no need to get involved. It wasn't easy for you to drive your stepmother away. There's really no need for you to get involved in this mess. Hu ran was silent after hearing this. After a long while, she raised her head and asked Xingbowen, if you don't need my help, what do you plan to do? Do you look down on me that much that you have to stand up for me? That's not what I meant. I know that Xingkai has been hiding for so long to come back for revenge, but I'm not so useless that I need a woman to protect me. Don't worry, I know how to plan this matter, but I really hope that you and Yufei, no matter which one of you, will not be involved in this anymore, because I will be very sad if I lose either of you. After hearing Xingbowen's last sentence, Huran was a little touched. I thought, you only remember how hateful I've been during this period of time. I used to regard you as the most important person. Even now, you're an irreplaceable family member and sister. Isn't it too not worth it to lose your sister for someone like Xingkai? Huran took a deep breath, sighed, and admitted defeat. I know what to do. I know. Don't do anything stupid anymore. It's getting late. In case Uncle is worried, I'll be leaving first. With that, Xingbowen got up from the sofa. Huran walked him out, but before he disappeared, she asked him a question. Do you really like the previous secretary? I'm serious. I understand. Huran nodded. If you can get through this safely, I won't say anything. She's willing to do anything for you. Chapter 723. Although his enemies had come knocking on his door, Xingbowen had made things clear in terms of his feelings. So, he still felt very relaxed. Papa, who was worried that his daughter would be wronged when he saw Xingbowen leaving so quickly. He quickly went back to comfort her, only to see Huran looking relaxed. Daughter, why did third young master come to see you so late at night? Dad, you don't have to worry about me pestering him in the future. We are family now. Huran hugged Papa Hu's arm. You're right. There is no love between me and Xingbowen. There is only family. So, from now on, we will only be family and friends. Of course, I'm very happy that you think so. Don't worry. My daughter is so good. She will definitely meet the right person. Papa Hu patted the back of Huran's hand. It was just that the Hu family had encountered a little trouble recently. Papa Hu did not tell Huran because he was afraid that she would be worried. Huran chatted with Papa Hu for a while. But before she went to bed, she received a call from an unknown number. Huran. Miss Hu. Huran was a little confused when she heard the magnetic voice. You are. My surname is Yen. I'm a lawyer. I haven't dealt with the matter of you scraping my car. Huran immediately reacted. She remembered the ghostly figure she met last night and the man in the black trench coat. I'm really sorry. I'll get someone to deal with it tomorrow. I'll contact your lawyer. Please remember not to let others waste time on your mistake. After that, the other party hung up. Huran did not even know how he got her phone number. The next morning, Huran called the other party's lawyer to deal with the scraping incident. Because of this man's eerie call, she had nightmares for the whole night. Then, she received a call from Gu Xiling. Let's meet today. Thinking of the agreement with Xingbowen last night, Huran nodded. Of course, she would settle things with Gu Xiling today. At the same time, she would get the person who wanted to threaten and use her out of her sight. But would it be that simple? Xingkai's action was equivalent to connecting everyone together and getting rid of them in one fell swoop. But did he overestimate his ability? In order to solve Xingkai's problem, Xingbowen personally went to Zhongting and found Xingxiao. Then, he told Xingxiao about how Xingkai wanted to use the two women. Do you really think that he will count on Huran? If that's the case, then he's even more stupid than before. Not to mention that Huran can't be controlled. Even if he could, he wouldn't rely on a woman. So, Huran's step is just to disturb you. No matter what, I can't let two women shelter me from the wind and rain. Eighth brother, can we think of a way to seize the initiative? We don't know what second brother's goal is. Can we lure him into our trap? How do you want to do it? Xing Xiao crossed his legs and asked Xing Bowen. First of all, we definitely can't follow Hu Ran's lead. It's too dangerous. Didn't Xing Kai leak the design of Huang Yao's new product to Third Master Long? I think I can follow this line, and it's also his most important line. As long as I go see Third Master Long. Do you know that Third Master Long is a gangster? Xing Xiao asked him back. That's the only way to know what Xing Kai is up to, isn't it? That's the fastest way. You're probably crazy. Xing Xiao retorted. Even I'm not confident, and you still want to do it. It's precisely because everyone knows that you're smart and not easy to deceive that others will be on guard against you. But I'm different. I'll rely on my courage to go on stage and relax their guard. Maybe I can really succeed. I'll pretend that I don't know anything and bring people to cause trouble for Third Master Long. I'll see his reaction and act according to the situation. I don't agree. Eighth brother, do you want Grandpa to open his skull again? When the time comes, lend me your special assistant Sue for a while. Xing Xiao took a deep breath. He felt that he was probably crazy to be persuaded by Xing Bowen. I can't make a decision on this matter. I still have to find someone. Who else are you looking for? Xing Xiao stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass and made a phone call. Xing Bowen did not know who he was calling. It was very rare for him to encounter something that even eighth brother found troublesome. In the past, he had always ignored black and white and did not care about his family. Now, he began to cherish his life. Soon, Tang Yan arrived at Zhongting's office in a black jacket. When the women in the office saw such a tangible man, they all lost their composure. It was as if they had seen their own CEO. Mr. Tang, this way, please. The secretary led Tang Yan into Xing Zhao's office. When Xing Bowen saw Tang Yan's figure and temperament, he remembered who he was. Why did you call me here? Tang Yan asked Xing Xiao directly. Qing Bin is in contact with Third Master Long, and Third Master Long is in contact with the traitor of the Xing family. Now, Third Master Long and the traitor of the Xing family are planning to attack the Xing family, and this Qing Bin might be involved. Do you want to follow this line? Xing Xiao walked from the floor-to-ceiling window to the sofa and sat down. I called you here because I want to know who is more difficult to deal with, Third Master Long or Qing Bin. Of course it's Third Master Long, Tang Yan replied. Think about it. A few years ago, I almost wiped them out, but Third Master Long didn't get involved. He cleaned himself up. Do you think such a person will be easy to deal with? After Xing Xiao heard this, he looked at Xing Bowen. Did you hear that? But we can't just sit here and wait for death. What exactly happened? Tang Yan asked the two of them. Did they call them here just to ask about Third Master Long? This was obviously not Xing Zhao's style of doing things. He was the swift and decisive type, so he would not waste time. Tell me, it's someone you can trust. Xing Xiao said directly to Xing Bowen. Because he could see Xing Bowen's concerns, after all, this was an internal secret of Huang Yao. Of course, he could not reveal it to anyone. However, since Xing Xiao trusted him, Xing Bowen had no more worries. He directly told Tang Yan about the leak of the design drawings. Since it involves the scale, of course there's a professional here. Captain Tang, right? Xing Xiao looked at Tang Yan and asked. Actually, although Third Young Master's plan is a little risky, it's not impossible to give it a try. I'll help you deal with the aftermath, Tang Yan said with a cold face. I also want to see how long these people want to hide. He had originally expected that they would seek revenge on him, but this group of people had not taken action. Why? What were they waiting for? Chapter 724. Then, let's settle this matter because I have to meet an old friend next. Xing Bowen smiled at Xing Xiao and Tang Yan. The two of them glanced at him. They did not know what he was up to, and of course, they were not interested in knowing. On the other side, Hu Ran and Gu Xiling met at the cafe again. This time, Hu Ran was much calmer than the last time they met. She drank her coffee leisurely, and there was no trace of panic in her expression. Gu Xiling observed her for a while. Suddenly, she did not know what this woman was thinking. From the looks of it, you don't seem to be angry with Xing Bowen anymore. No matter how angry I am, I shouldn't be angry at you, Hu Ran replied. Xing Bowen is heartless to you. Even I, the former second sister-in-law, can't stand it. You are the daughter of the Hu family after all. He actually found a secretary to humiliate you. If I were you, I would not be willing to accept it. Gu Xiling still insisted on sowing discord. Moreover, Hu Ran, you probably don't know that your Hu family has been in trouble recently, right? What do you mean? Hu Ran suddenly became nervous. I mean, your father really cares for you. He only reports the good news to you and not the bad news. Your Hu family is now facing a huge funding gap. This is all because of the negative consequences after Xing Bowen announced his divorce with you that day, Gu Xiling said to Hu Ran casually. After Hu Ran heard this, she stood up. Since you already know, why did you only tell me now? I have no reason to tell you. Gu Xiling shrugged. It was Xing Bowen who caused your Hu family to become like this. Hu Ran calmed down and sat back on the chair. So, what do you want me to do? I can help you take revenge, but I want to make sure that your heart completely belongs to us. Think about it. Not only did Xing Bowen dump you, but he also harmed your Hu family. How long can your father last? What you said makes sense. Hu Ran nodded and looked at the coffee cup in her hand. But I also have some questions to ask you. Gu Xiling saw that it was difficult to control Hu Ran's thoughts, so she sighed and lost her patience. Ask away. Who was it that gave you the courage to seek an alliance with me? No. I should say, who gave you the courage to think that you can use me and control me? Hu Ran played with the cup in her hand and asked. Xing Bowen has already treated you like this. Can you still tolerate it? After hearing Gu Xiling's words, Hu Ran finally laughed. Gu Xiling, aren't you being too full of yourself? Why can't you get rid of this bad habit of yours? Gu Xiling's face darkened. I know that you and Xing Kai hate the Xing family, Xing Bowen and Xing Xiao. But you can just take revenge on them. Why are you looking for me? I know the reason. It's because you can't do anything to the Xing family, so you came to me. Xing Xiao is too smart. You can't even touch a hair of his. So, you vented your anger on Xing Bowen, right? Gu Xiling's expression could no longer be described as ugly. It was as if her reverse scale had been touched. It's not just Xing Xiao. You can't even do anything to Mu Qiqi. No, it should be that you've always regarded Mu Qiqi as your opponent, but Mu Qiqi has never taken you seriously. Because in her eyes, you're not qualified at all. Since ancient times, the winner has always been the king, and the loser has always been the villain. You've already lost once. If you make a comeback, you'll only lose again. Hu Ran. Gu Xiling became angry from embarrassment and scolded in a low voice. I've hit the nail on the head, haven't I? Hu Ran laughed. How about this? In order to give you a better experience of revenge, I've called someone for you. I think you two can sit down and talk face to face. There's no need for me to be the middleman and be in a dilemma." After saying that, Huran glanced out of the coffee shop. Xingboan received a reminder and went straight into the coffee shop with Ren Yufei. He walked in front of Huran and Muqiqi. When Gu Xiling saw this, she immediately knew that she had been tricked by Huran. "Why are you so useless? Your man has been snatched away, and now you're still throwing yourself at him. Gu Xiling, I've tolerated you for a long time. Do you know that your way of sowing discord is really annoying? This is the first time I've seen someone be so shameless after being caught red-handed." Xingboan interrupted in front of the two of them. "Miss Gu, you don't have to worry about the matter between me and the Hu family. You should save your energy to fix your IQ. Doing this kind of thing all day is detrimental to your virtue. No wonder you can't have children in this life." Gu Xiling glared at the three of them, especially Huran. Then, she got up from the sofa angrily. "You'd better remember how your Hu family ended up in this state." Huran did not respond to this woman, a woman who kept chattering in other people's ears every day. On the other hand, when Gu Xiling left, third brother said to her, "Second sister-in-law, if you need anything next time, come to me directly. I'll let you see my progress. Just you wait and see. Kai won't let you off." She was quite confident. Xingboan did not continue to respond. After Gu Xiling left, he asked Huran, "Are you all right?" Huran shook her head and kept the matter of the Hu family a secret. If Gu Xiling was just spouting nonsense, wouldn't she cause a big commotion again? In the future, this woman probably won't have the face to look for you again. After all, you've embarrassed her so much today. "I hope so," Huran answered absent-mindedly. She was afraid that the two of them would become even worse. However, even so, she still had to go home and figure out the whole story. "Third brother, I suddenly remembered that I have something else to do. Let's talk about it another day." After saying that, Huran left the coffee shop and quickly drove home. Xingboan was very puzzled and turned to look at Ren Yufei. Ren Yufei also felt that it was very strange. "Why don't you call again and ask? If she was willing to tell me, she wouldn't have left without saying a word just now." Xingboan was afraid that Gu Xiling would use other dirty tricks to coerce Huran to be obedient with these two scumbags. Therefore, on the way back, he said to Ren Yufei, "Try your best to understand the Hu family situation." "Okay." Ren Yufei nodded and replied. Xingboan was a little puzzled when he saw her agree so quickly. "You aren't jealous. This is business. Why should I be jealous?" Ren Yufei answered very calmly. "It's good that you're not jealous. Then I'll send you supper tonight." Chapter 725. Huran did not go home. Instead, she went to her father's company. When the people from the Hu family saw that it was their young miss, they did not dare to stop her. They led her directly into Papa Hu's office. Papa Hu was in a terrible situation. When he saw his daughter, he naturally relaxed and asked her, "You never come to the company. What happened?" "Something happened to the Hu family, right?" Huran asked Papa Hu directly. After hearing this question, Papa Hu subconsciously turned his face away. "Dad, just tell me. I'm also a member of the Hu family. Moreover, I want to know if this has anything to do with Xingboan. Is it because he asked for a divorce?" "Of course not," Papa Hu quickly explained. "Who told you that? How could the blood, sweat, and tears of your father's entire life be ruined just because of your marriage? Isn't this too absurd? It's Gu Xiling. She knows that the Hu family is in trouble, so she came to bewitch me to deal with Xingboan. Dad, she told me that the Hu family is in this situation today because Xingboan publicized the news of our divorce. What a load of nonsense. Papa Hoot slammed the desk angrily. I was wondering why the bank didn't approve a few transactions recently. After you reminded me, I remembered that the Goo family has such a bank manager. It turns out that the Goo family is trying to sow discord in front of you and force you to deal with the third young master. So, the Who family was not caused by third young master, but by the Goo family. If it weren't for them, how could I be short of funds? After Who Ran heard this, she understood what Papa Who meant. Dad, I understand. Don't worry, I won't be bewitched by those scumbags, and I won't do anything to hurt you. Papa Who hugged his daughter and took a deep breath. Daughter, I've been fighting in the business world for most of my life. I've seen all kinds of scenes. Do you still remember? When you were in your teens, Dad's first business failed, and we were even on the streets. At most, I'll start all over again. Papa Who's mentality was very good and he knew his place. However, Who Ran's heart ached for her father. She did not want to let Goo Xiling and her husband be happy. However, she couldn't bring herself to ask for help from Xingbowen. Dad, no matter what, I will always be by your side. Although the father and daughter were in danger, they still relied on each other. It had been a long time since Who Ran leaned on her father's shoulder like this. Late at night, Ren Yufei went home with the documents that she urgently needed to deal with. When she thought about how Xingbowen had deliberately left her so much work, she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was this man just trying to find an excuse to deliver supper? Ren Yufei used some of her connections to inquire about the Who family. Late at night, her friend sent her a text message. The Who family was currently facing a financial problem. Soon, a bell rang in the house. Ren Yufei got up and opened the door. When she saw Xingbowen entering the room with chicken soup in his hand, she glared at him and said, "You're too shameless." Xingbowen put down the chicken soup and pulled Ren Yufei into his arms. This is the only time I can hug you without any scruples and stay with you without any worries. Don't be in a hurry to hug me. Take a look at this first. Ren Yufei turned on her phone, flipped to the message, and handed it to Xingbowen. I asked someone in the secretary circle to help me find out. It said that the Who family has recently applied for several loans and hasn't been approved. They're now facing a big financial problem. Under normal circumstances, why would a bank do this when the business is operating well? Xingbowen was a little puzzled. Unless it's a malicious competition. Someone deliberately set a trap for the Who family. No wonder Who Ran was absent-minded when she left today. Maybe it has something to do with this matter. Then what do you plan to do? Xingbowen hugged Ren Yufei and sat down on a chair. Then, he looked into her eyes and said, "After I go back, I'll discuss it with Grandpa and see if I can help the Who family get through this crisis first. However, I can't let Who Ran know about this. Her pride is so strong that she definitely won't be able to accept it. Since you've decided, I'll support you," Ren Yufei said as she hugged Xingbowen's neck. "You said that you weren't looking forward to my arrival. Why is everything ready at home?" The men's shoes were taken off, there were 2 sets of cutlery, and Ren Yufei's increasingly natural hug. "That's because I know that our CEO is thick-skinned. I can't help it. When I see you, I want to kiss and hug you. I've been holding it in all day." After saying that, Xingbowen pinched Ren Yufei's chin and kissed her very gently. Soon, Ren Yufei felt that someone's body had become stiff and hot. Don't worry about it. Xingbowen reminded Ren Yufei and then bit her lips. "I just want to kiss you. I can't do anything else." After Ren Yufei heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. "You've eaten tofu, but you haven't finished the documents you brought home yesterday. Am I that shameless?" "Not tonight." After Xingbowen said that, he continued to enjoy the intimate moment between the two of them. Late at night, Xing Bowen carried the documents home. When old Master Xing saw this, he snorted coldly. Who bit you? Why are you swollen after coming back for 2 days in a row? Grandpa, you're asking the obvious. By the way, Grandpa, there's something serious I want to discuss with you. Xing Bowen thought of the Hu family. After old Master Xing heard this, he nodded. Since I've handed Huang Yao over to you, you have the final say. I don't want to care about Huang Yao's matters now. I just want to spend my remaining years in peace. Then I'll get the lawyer to help the Hu family tomorrow in case someone hits them when they're down. I hope that the result of your good karma will be as you wish. My birthday is only a few days away. I still want to have a happy birthday banquet. With that clever Shao-Chi around, it's hard for you not to be happy. Old Master Xing wanted to save his life now. He wanted to see if he could wait until the day that wretched girl gave birth to 8th brother's child. Right now, she was clearly still a wild girl who was unrestrained. Alright, since you and Secretary Ren have settled down now, find a time to settle the matter. Xing Bowen also wanted to, but the matter of 3rd Master Long suddenly flashed through his mind. Tomorrow, he was going to meet him. Xing Kai still wanted to hurt his family. Even if he agreed, 8th brother would not. Perhaps it was because someone was talking about them, so Mu Chi-Chi and Xing Xiao sneezed at the same time. Did you catch a cold? Mu Chi-Chi immediately checked Xing Xiao's forehead. No, I'm fine. Why did I sneeze? I was infected by you. Xing Xiao moved her hand away. Xing Xiao did not tell Mu Chi-Chi that Xing Bowen was about to meet 3rd Master Long. This was because he guessed that Xing Kai must have already planted a trap in another inconspicuous place. 3rd Master Long's trap was just to attract everyone's attention. Chapter 726. Xing Kai had taken advantage of the innocent Hu family when he was in power, which made Xing Xiao look down on him. Even though Hu Ran and Gu Xiling had once been at odds with each other, Papa Hu had never made things difficult for them. But now, he wanted Papa Hu to pay the price for his daughter's past grudges. From the looks of it, Xing Kai was like a villain who would attack anyone he didn't like. Xiao Xiao, what are you thinking about? Mu Chi-Chi saw that Xing Xiao was suddenly silent, so she waved her hand in front of him. Are you really sick? Yes, I'm sick. Treat me now. With that, Xing Xiao carried Mu Chi-Chi horizontally and left the study. If Mu Chi-Chi knew that anything she said now would be linked to that kind of thing by this man, she would definitely avoid provoking him at night. His energy was so strong that it angered even the gods. Especially after the incident, when she was so tired that she couldn't even lift a finger, the man could still bring her to take a shower in high spirits. Mu Chi-Chi could only lie in the bathtub and didn't even know when she fell asleep. Xing Xiao carried the sleeping person back to the bed and covered her with the blanket. Then, he returned to the study and called Xing Bowen. Xing Bowen had just laid down and didn't expect to receive a call from 8th brother. What's wrong? Tell me everything about the leak of Huang Yao's new product. Tell me everything from the beginning to the end. Don't leave out any of the people involved. You found something new. Xing Bowen immediately got up from the bed and went to the desk to get a pen and paper. It's because there isn't. That's why I'm looking. Xing Bowen knew what Xing Xiao's brain was made of, so he didn't dare to be careless at all. He immediately began to recall and told Xing Xiao all the people and things involved. When Chi-Chi told me about 3rd Master Long, the vice president of Huang Yao and I had already collected several batches of imitations from the outside. There were a total of 5 batches, all to track down the source of the leak. Those 5 batches of imitations are all in Huang Yao. Yes. Xing Bowen was puzzled. What's wrong? Get someone to bring out these 5 batches of imitations now. I'll come over immediately. Just the 2 of us, we'll check all 5 batches of imitations, Xing Xiao said. Why would you suspect these imitations? I'm not suspecting these imitations. I just feel that 3rd Master Long's setting is too deliberate. If you go to 3rd Master Long, you will definitely become enemies with him. If Xing Kai wants to use 3rd Master Long to do something to you or the Xing family, it will be beyond his control. 3rd Master Long is not stupid, and he will not be used by Xing Kai. Xing Kai seems to be doing this to divert your attention so that you can deal with 3rd Master Long with all your might. So, I suspect that Xing Kai will set a trap for you elsewhere. So, we can't let go of anyone or anything that's involved. Okay, I'll call Yufei right away. Just inform her alone. Don't alert the vice presidents and the others, Xing Xiao instructed. I understand. Xing Kai had set up a trap for 3rd Master Long while letting Gu Xiling sow discord between him and the Hu family. He was indeed trying to divert his attention. That was why Xing Xiao was suspicious. After hanging up, Xing Xiao put on his brown trench coat and prepared to leave. However, Mu Qiqi, who had woken up and could not find him, grabbed his arm. Where are you going? I have something to do. Mu Qiqi lifted the blanket and got up. I'll go with you. Xing Xiao frowned but did not object. After all, this little one was a forensic doctor. Her sense of smell and hearing were exceptionally good, so it was good to bring her along. Change your clothes. When Mu Qiqi heard these words, she immediately laughed. Wait for me. I'll be done soon. Soon, the 2 of them drove out. However, on the way, Mu Qiqi peeked at Xing Xiao's side profile many times. You know how to keep secrets in your heart now. I naturally won't tell you things that shouldn't be known by a child, Xing Xiao answered frankly. If I don't tell you, you should pretend not to know. Humph, Mu Qiqi snorted. Yes, I know my limits. On the other side, Xing Bowen also drove to Ren Yufei's apartment and picked her up. The 4 of them entered Huang Yao's warehouse together. The 5 batches of imitations are all here, Ren Yufei said as she held the list. Ren Yufei held the list and said, I've just checked the data. It's not wrong. There are 20 pieces per unit, 100 pieces in 5 batches, and 500 pieces here. Looks like we'll be busy tonight. Xing Bowen looked at the tall box and was a little annoyed. Are you going to check these 5 batches of imitations? These 5 batches of imitations were collected from other places in order to find out the channel through which the blueprints were leaked. These imitations have nothing to do with 3rd Master Long, Xing Bowen explained. Xing Bowen explained, Xiao Qi, your nose is the best. Smell it and see if you can sense anything unusual. F*CKU, I'm not a dog. Mu Qiqi glared at him and said, this is Xiao Zhao's personality. He will definitely check every checkpoint. Since you understand, then let's not talk so much nonsense. Let's begin. There were 4 people, and each of them had an average of 125 pieces. It would only take a few seconds to open the decorative boxes. Therefore, it did not take much effort to open the 500 imitations. Tomorrow, you still have to check all the vice presidents and the people who handled them, Xing Xiao said to Xing Bowen as he opened the boxes. Xing Xiao said to Xing Bowen as he opened the boxes, now the enemy is in the open and we are in the dark. Only by controlling every link can we not let others take advantage of it. I'll never be as meticulous as you in my life. Xing Bowen could not help but admit defeat. That's the result of years of experience. It's not innate. Xing Xiao gestured to him that it was the result of training. Xing Bowen shrugged and began his work. However, soon, most of the jewelry box was opened, but there were no clues. Fakes are fakes. The value of the crystals inside might not even be comparable to Huang Yao's packaging box. While Xingbo sighed, he also reminded Muqiqi, the packaging box. What's wrong? Muqiqi did not answer him immediately. Instead, she took out the heaviest packaging box from the jewelry that she had handled. Then, she took out the fake jewelry and the stuffing inside. Finally, she weighed it in her hand and still felt that the weight was wrong. Give me the knife. Xing Xiao quickly handed the knife to her. Muqiqi took the knife and cut open the interlayer of the jewelry box with a beautiful gesture. This was an eye-opener for Xingbo. I can finally imagine what it looks like when you dissect a corpse. However, Muqiqi could not laugh because she took out a small bag of white things from the interlayer. What is this? Muqiqi opened it and sniffed it. Then, she said a chemical term, diacetylmorphine. Ha! Chapter 727. Xingbo was stunned when he heard that. How is that possible? I suddenly understand why Xing Kai wanted to set up Third Master Long. Because Third Master Long and Qingbin have been involved with this kind of thing in the past. If you go to Third Master Long and find this thing in Huang Yao's warehouse, do you think you'll have any room to defend yourself? Xing Xiao looked at Xingbo sharply. Xingbo took the small bag from Muqiqi, his mind buzzing. How much is this small bag? About 30 grams. Muqiqi replied. Moreover, there were no less than 10 of these boxes just now, so there must be more. Find it first, then inform Tang Yan to call the police immediately. Xing Kai's move is not only to destroy the Xing family, but also to destroy Huang Yao. When the time comes, if I go to prison, Grandpa will definitely suffer a blow. Huang Yao will also collapse because of this. What a vicious heart. More than that. Xing Xiao looked at Xing Kai with a complicated expression. He's been plotting all this while to put on this show at the old man's birthday banquet. He wants to give the old man a big gift. If such a thing happened on the old man's important day, it would be equivalent to taking the old man's life. Then what should we do now? Hand these things over to the police and replace the fillings with lime powder. No one knows what we'll find tonight. We'll beat him at his own game. Muqiqi suddenly stood up and said, I don't believe that he won't show up that day. Xing Xiao patted Muqiqi's head and comforted her. Er's idea is very good. You should still go to see Third Master Long as usual, but you can use him. Xing Kai's doing this is equivalent to dragging Third Master Long down with him. Do you think he'll agree? He's doing everything he can to clear his name. How can he let Xing Kai slander him? I understand. Since Xing Kai has given us such a big gift, of course we have to return the favor. The few of them worked together to find all the white things. Muqiqi took a rough look. These are enough for you to stay in prison. Xingbo's expression changed. He hugged Ren Yufei and did not say a word. He did not expect that Xing Kai had actually exchanged souls with a demon and became so vicious. Soon, Tang Yan arrived with his team. When he saw the spectacular scene on the ground, he asked, What's going on? These are the things that Huang Yao found in the interlayer of the counterfeits. These are all of them. Huang Yao will give you the person who handled it and the surveillance footage tomorrow. This has nothing to do with Huang Yao. You have to investigate this thoroughly. Xing Xiao was a veteran after all. He knew how this matter would affect Huang Yao, so he explained it to Tang Yan in advance. Even if Huang Yao cooperates, the personnel involved will still be investigated. After all, Huang Yao is not under the jurisdiction of the branch, and we are not that department. I understand. Huang Yao will cooperate at any time. However, if Captain Tang wants to know the real owner of these things, I hope that you can let me put on a show to lure the snake out of its hole. After spending some time, Xing Xiao told Tang Yan the whole story. Tang Yan already knew about Xing Kai's situation, so he knew how serious it was. It's very wise to call the police when you find out, but there are many things that are out of control. I can only try my best to cooperate, Tang Yan said to Xing Xiao. Third young master, please provide the list of people who handled it and the surveillance footage as soon as possible. After the police get these things, they will send people over to investigate, but I will inform you in advance. I understand, Captain Tang. Xing Bowen nodded seriously. I hope the police can find out and clear Huang Yao's name. As long as it can be proved that there is no problem with the person who handled it, and that no one else touched this batch of things before you touched it, Huang Yao will be cleared of suspicion. Xing Bowen wanted to say something else, but he was stopped by Mu Qiqi. If it were someone else doing this, you would have made a big deal out of it. Be content. Xing Bowen nodded and tilted his head to Ren Yufei. Go and get the surveillance footage quietly. Don't alert anyone. Don't worry, I know the severity, Ren Yufei replied. Xing Kai had really given her a super nuclear bomb. The few of you should also make a statement with old Qing, including you, Qiqi. Okay. Mu Qiqi nodded. No matter what, this thrilling night was finally over. However, after returning home, Xing Bowen could not sleep. He was afraid that this matter would be exposed and he would really fall into Xing Kai's trap. In the middle of the night, Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi home. On the way, the two of them did not say a word. Why aren't you saying anything? Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao's side profile and asked. He's making things more and more boring, Xing Xiao said. There was a hint of regret in his words. That's right. After breaking the bottom line, it will only get worse in the future. But Xiao Xiao, you have to know that if this was really done by Xing Kai, if he's really so crazy, then Captain Tang will definitely make him suffer. After all, he hates evil so much. Just him. Of course, there's also you. Mu Qiqi smiled. Although in the eyes of outsiders, you're a person who is both good and evil, and it seems to make people tremble in fear when they hear your name, you never do anything that goes beyond the bottom line. At most, you teach others a lesson. It's impossible for you to do such a despicable thing. In the past, I thought that although Xing Kai was a little trash, he could barely be considered a human. But now, he's even worse than an animal. So, I'll definitely keep an eye on him like Captain Tang. I want to see how arrogant and lawless this person will be. After Xing Xiao heard the little thing's words, he deeply felt the righteousness from her. It was a person's soul. You haven't been led astray by me. Xiao Xiao, you don't know yourself, do you? Although you usually preach an eye for an eye, tonight, when you encountered something, your first reaction was to call the police instead of handling it privately. What does this mean? My man, he is actually a righteous and awe-inspiring person. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. This little thing was very good at pacifying people now. She specially picked out things that you liked and could not refute. It was as if her mouth was smeared with honey. As long as we find out that this matter has nothing to do with Huang Yao, the police will change the direction of their investigation. So, our plan will remain the same. What if it's related? Xing Xiao tilted his head and said something unpleasant. Don't forget that there were 5 or 6 people who handled this matter. I'm more optimistic and luckier. It was Ren Yufei, who was still checking the surveillance footage in the warehouse in the middle of the night. Chapter 728. I don't have a good family background or a prominent status. The only thing I can do for you is these trivial things, Ren Yufei said to Xing Bowen very sincerely. Ren Yufei said to Xing Bowen very sincerely, so, you don't have to feel burdened because I'm willing to do this. Xing Bowen gently stroked Ren Yufei's black hair and nodded, touched. With you here, I believe that Huang Yao will be fine. Go and rest for a while. You still have to deal with the Hu Corporation tomorrow. Ren Yufei pushed Xing Bowen to the sofa. I'll call you when I'm ready. I'll just take a short nap. Call me in 10 minutes and I'll take your place. Got it. Ren Yufei agreed verbally, but she did not have such a plan in her heart. However, Xing Bowen also knew that she would have such thoughts, so he specially set the alarm clock. The two of them, together with the security guard in charge of the surveillance, spent most of the night and finally delivered all the information the police wanted to Tang Yan. In addition to the surveillance footage, there was also the information of the person who handled it. Other than this, President Xing has to get the relevant people involved to cooperate with the investigation as soon as possible, including your vice president. This way, we can eliminate the suspicion of Huang Yao as soon as possible, Tang Yan instructed Ren Yufei. We understand all of this. I hope that Captain Tang can do his best to help us. Don't be so nervous. Tang Yan seemed to be comforting Ren Yufei verbally. The police will not wrongly accuse any good person. Ren Yufei nodded. She seemed to be a little exhausted. Tang Yan seemed to have seen through her and reminded her, go back and rest. You've worked hard this night. However, Ren Yufei could rest, but Xing Bowen could not at the moment. In order to avoid the panic of Huang Yao's shareholders, he planned to use his own name to help the Hu Corporation and lend money to Papa Hu. In the morning, Ren Yufei was ordered to go back to rest, so the person beside Xing Bowen was Ren Yufei's new secretary. President Hu is now at the bank. It seems that he wants to fight for the last chance, but his situation is not very good. Someone saw that he almost knelt down to the president of the bank. In other words, Gu Xiling and Li Rulan were freaks through and through. They specialized in torturing others for fun. Even if it was an innocent person like Papa Hu, they would not let him off. Real estate and banks were closely linked, and the most frightening thing was that the funds would be tied up. One ring after another, and if they could not be connected, they might go bankrupt overnight. Which bank? Send the address to the driver immediately. I'll go over now, Xing Bowen said as he walked. Call my private lawyer and ask them to come with me immediately. Got it, President. The new secretary quickly nodded. She took out the important notes that Ren Yufei had given her and contacted Xing Bowen's lawyer. Just as Xing Bowen thought, Gu Xiling was a freak. Knowing that they did not have the ability to deal with Xing Xiao now, they started attacking the people around them. Hu Ran didn't know how to appreciate favors. Of course, her father had to take the punishment for his daughter. Gu Xiling believed that everyone should understand such a simple logic. Therefore, seeing that Papa Hu had no way to turn to for help, she was extremely happy. Wasn't Hu Ran very arrogant? She wanted to see how Hu Ran could be arrogant now that she was no longer the daughter of a rich family. Papa Hu had indeed asked the bank for help. After all, they had worked together for many years. However, no matter how strong their friendship was, it could not compare to the suppression of power. Moreover, he was friends with the former president. Therefore, Papa Hu could only leave the bank. But just as he walked out of the bank, Xing Bowen's car arrived at the bank's entrance. When Papa Hu saw this, he could not help but be puzzled. Third young master, what are you, uncle? I'm here to look for you, Xing Bowen said directly. Coincidentally, I'm also using this bank. I want to use my private assets to help the Hu Corporation through this crisis. So, you don't have to leave. I might have to trouble you to come back to the bank with me again. After Papa Hu heard this, he was shocked. Third young master, I know that the Who Corporation is in trouble, so I must help it. After all, the Xing family is the one who caused the trouble. The Xing family feels guilty, Xing Bowen explained sincerely. Xing Bowen explained sincerely. I also treat Xiao Ran as a family member, so you can't refuse. Papa Hu felt like he was dreaming. That was because he had never thought of seeking help from the Xing family. After all, he had seen all kinds of storms over the years. He was already prepared to start from scratch. However, when he heard that Xing Bowen was going to help him through this difficult time, he almost burst into tears. Who else could be like Xing Bowen at this critical juncture, offering a helping hand in a time of need? Just like that, Xing Bowen brought his lawyer and Papa Hu back to the office of the bank president. I don't need your bank's approval to help a friend with my private assets, do I, President Gu? The other party's expression was ugly, but he had nothing to say. I remember that a few months ago, the president of your bank wasn't surnamed Gu. I didn't expect you to be promoted so quickly. I wonder what kind of expert taught you. Xing Bowen was very reserved. In fact, his meaning was simple and clear, and it was quite sarcastic. No one had thought that Xing Bowen would interfere in this matter. The Hu family was already on the verge of being forced into a corner. They did not expect Xing Bowen to be so generous. Third young master, I don't know how to repay you for helping me like this. I'll just treat it as you buying shares. After that, the lawyer will calculate the proportion of shares for you, uncle. I don't have any other meaning in doing this. I just want the Hu Corporation to tide over this crisis. I don't need to hold shares. You can just give me an IOU. I won't charge interest. I've taken too much advantage of you. Papa Hu felt very apologetic. Speaking of which, you're all innocent people. After saying this, Xing Bowen left with his team. That made Papa Hu feel deeply that the third young master of the Xing family was truly loyal and true. Moreover, he did not make any requests. Hu Ran had caused so much trouble previously, but he did not take the opportunity to threaten her to leave Jianchuan. He had already done his best. After leaving the bank, Papa Hu called Hu Ran. Because he really did not expect Xing Bowen to be such a timely help. Daughter, I owe third young master a favor. Hu Ran also did not expect that in the end, it would be this loyal man who helped the Hu family. Dad, don't worry. I won't cause trouble for third brother anymore. He's really just my brother. Moreover, I'll enter the Hu Corporation and help you pay off the money you owe as soon as possible. Most importantly, she had to lay low. She would remember Gu Ziling's hatred today. There was still a long way to go. As for Gu Ziling, she was halfway through her joy when she suddenly received news that the Hu family had been saved by Xing Bowen. Her expression immediately changed. Chapter 729. However, it was still too early to say whether he could protect himself or not. According to the previous plan, Xing Bowen was going to look for Third Master Long in the afternoon to ask for an explanation. This was also to cooperate with Xing Kai's plan to use him. However, Third Master Long was not an ordinary person. If Xing Bowen fell into it, he did not know what he would face. Therefore, Xing Xiao would definitely be a backup. However, Xing Xiao did not tell Mu Qiqi about this. Xing Bowen did not intend to take Ren Yufei into danger. Of course, Tang Yan was not idle either. After Ren Yufei woke up, she secretly cooperated with Tang Yan to retrieve all kinds of information and check the relevant personnel. After careful verification by Old Qing and the others, they found that after the 5 batches of imitations entered Huang Yao's warehouse, there were no traces of anyone touching them. This meant that before entering Huang Yao's warehouse, the batch of things had been in the middle of the imitations. The most important thing now was to confirm that there was no problem with the person who handled it. Only then could Huang Yao be completely cleared of suspicion. Because of this matter, Xing Bowen left Ren Yufei in the company. He brought his lawyer and personally drove to Third Master Long's territory. Of course, Xing Xiao was also on the way with Su Che, ready to support Xing Bowen at any time. As for the women at home, because they were still in school, there was no need to hide anything. At 3:00 in the afternoon, Xing Bowen appeared at Third Master Long's manor. This also meant that he had fallen into Xing Kai's trap. The butler informed Third Master Long, who was wearing loose training clothes and making tea in the yard. This kid has some courage. He actually dared to come to my door. At that moment, Qingbin was in Third Master Long's courtyard. After hearing Third Master Long's words, he sneered. How would those businessmen know how powerful you are? They think that they can do whatever they want just because they have some stinky money. They dare to come anywhere. It's fine. In the end, I'm the one who did something wrong. I'm the one who should feel guilty. Since I want to meet a guest, you can leave for now, Third Master Long said to Qingbin leisurely as he stroked his beard. Then I'll leave first. Qingbin stood up and quickly left through the side door of the courtyard. At that moment, the butler brought Xing Bowen to Third Master Long's garden. What a rare guest. My small courtyard can actually welcome such a distinguished guest. What a miracle. Third Master Long immediately went forward to greet him. Xing Bowen saw 2 teacups in front of him and knew that someone had just left. He smiled and said, Third Master Long's reputation is not just for show. Please have a seat. I wonder what brings Chief Xing here today. They're here for the leaked blueprints of Huang Yao. Xing Bowen went straight to the point. I want to know from Third Master Long who sold you the blueprint. President Xing, what big words. What evidence do you have to prove that this belongs to Huang Yao? Third Master Long was not angry, but he looked very stern. The sketch in my hand is the evidence. Xing Bowen said, Third Master Long, you and I both know how you got your design blueprint. I don't think I need to explain it to you, do I? After all, I have 3 lawyers with me. When Third Master Long saw the lawyer behind Xing Bo's tattoo, he smiled. Where does CEO Xing think this is? Such shameless boasting. Are you really not afraid of me? Third Master Long, I'm a businessman. What businessmen value is money. According to the law, you're infringing on copyright. I should have dealt with this matter a long time ago, but I've been too busy and haven't had the time. Today, I'm here to ask for an explanation from you. You've wantonly copied our things with fake and inferior products and caused us a lot of losses. As the CEO of Huang Yao, I should have given an explanation to my employees and consumers. So, I'm sorry, but if you don't intend to deal with this matter properly, I can only call the police. We'll go to court. After Third Master Long heard this, he frowned at Xing Bowen. In the end, he couldn't help but laugh. Young man, I advise you not to be too arrogant. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being reasonable. Xing Bowen did look like a businessman. He did not take Third Master Long's previous identity and background seriously at all. But in fact, this was Xing Bowen and Xing Zhao's strategy. Xing Bowen was in charge of pretending to be stupid and acting like a boorish man. Then, Xing Zhao would talk about what happened to Xing Kai. This way, Xing Bowen would not be suspected. Therefore, Xing Bowen's words were provoking Third Master Long. As a pure businessman, he insisted that he would sue Third Master Long for copyright infringement. Third Master Long, to tell you the truth, my legal team is not to be trifled with. After Third Master Long heard this, he immediately gestured to the bodyguards behind him. However, the bodyguards were so agile that no one could see them clearly. A few lawyers had already fallen to the ground and were unconscious. All of them were knocked unconscious. Is this your team of lawyers who are not to be trifled with? Third Master Long sneered. Young man, don't go overboard. If we meet again in the future, I'll let go of this stupid thing you did today. But if you continue to pester me endlessly, then I have a carnivorous fellow under the pond. If I throw you down, not even your bones will be left. Do you believe me? I don't believe you because I only believe in the law. Moreover, so many people know that I came to your manor. If I disappeared just like that, how are you going to explain it to the police? You don't have to worry about that. Third Master Long smiled cunningly. If you want to try, then I'll fulfill your wish now. I don't believe you. Third Master Long saw that Xing Bowen did not know what was good for him, so he gestured to the bodyguards. Throw him down. However, before the bodyguards could move, the butler came to report again. President Xing from Zhongting is also here. That's a legendary figure. He's probably here to fish this stupid thing out. Third Master Long smiled. Let him in. The more stupid Xing Bowen appeared, the more Third Master Long felt that Xing Xiao was extremely smart from his appearance. Soon, Xing Xiao brought Su Che into Third Master Long's manor. When he saw this, he said to Third Master Long, "This third brother of mine usually doesn't use his brain. It's really worrying. This is going to be lively." Two CEO Xings. Third Master Long made a welcoming gesture. This brother of mine has an average IQ, but he's daring. I hope that Third Master Long will show mercy and let him leave. Xing Xiao looked at Xing Bowen and said to Third Master Long, "Of course, none of the things you're worried about will happen." With Xing Xiao's guarantee, Third Master Long thought for a moment and said to the bodyguards, "Send the third young master of the Xing family away." Eighth brother, who asked you to make the decision? You're no longer the CEO of Huang Yao. Xing Bowen deliberately ignored Xing Zhao's kindness. Third Master Long is giving me face. Don't push your luck. Su Che, take him away, Xing Xiao instructed Su Che. Chapter 730. In terms of boldness in the Xing family, you're the former crown prince. After leaving Huang Yao and establishing the huge Zhongting, the new generation is really pushing the old one forward. However, even if you come personally, I won't be afraid. What kind of person was Third Master Long? All these years in Jianchuan, he had never been a person who suffered losses. In the past, he could even clean up so many dirty things, let alone these drawings of Huang Yao. If it were in the past, I would definitely fight to the death with Third Master Long if I knew that something like this had happened to Huang Yao. I could probably think of hundreds of different ways to deal with it. Xing Xiao said as he sat down in front of Third Master Long. However, we're all people with families now. It's not appropriate for me to act like a young boy. So, other than fishing people out today, I just want to talk to you about something else. Xing Zhao's eyes were not as simple as Xing Bowen's. He could see through his thoughts at a glance. Xing Zhao's eyes were complicated and ever-changing, but he was calm. Third Master Long knew very well how many people had fallen into his hands. So, he smiled and nodded. I, Long, have never been afraid of anyone in Jianchuan for so many years. However, I can't see through you. Tell me, I'd like to hear what else you can tell me besides Huang Yao. I want to ask, Third Master Long, why did you want to cooperate with the traitor of the Xing family? Xing Xiao went straight to the point. The loss of the drawings can be a big or small matter. It's not that it can't be solved. However, in the entire Jianchuan, no one else dares to take on Huang Yao, but Third Master Long did. Why? Your brother just said that I'm just a businessman. Since I'm a businessman, of course, I only need to pay attention to business opportunities. I believe that this is the reason why Third Master Long and Xing Kai are working together. However, I feel that this is very inconsistent with Third Master Long's identity. What kind of person are you? How could you not know that Xing Kai wants to take revenge on the Xing family? Since it's revenge, he will definitely set countless traps for the Xing family to jump into. As one of them, do you think you can escape unscathed? After Third Master Long heard this, he fell into deep thought. Then, he replied, I'm afraid not, right? I'm just producing my stuff. How is it related to the grudges of other people's families? If Third Master Long thinks that way, then don't blame me for not reminding you when the police target you in the future. It seems that Chief Xing is implying something. I'm willing to listen. Xing Kai betrayed the Xing family, and Third Master Long spent money to buy a business opportunity. This seems understandable, but Third Master Long, do you know that when we were investigating the other counterfeits last night, we found diacetylmorphine in the packaging boxes of those batches? I believe that Third Master Long knows better than me what this is, right? Third Master Long's expression changed when he heard the chemical term. In other words, Xing Kai didn't just sell the blueprint to you. He also sold it to someone else. He also asked the small merchant to put this dangerous thing in the box. Once someone finds out and reports it, Huang Yao will be investigated. Then, Third Master Long, who was involved in this before, met my third brother today. Wouldn't the police have a reason to suspect you first? After listening to Xing Zhao's analysis, Third Master Long's expression could no longer be described as colorful. Even so, Third Master Long, do you think it doesn't matter? Third Master Long was so angry that he slammed his palm on the rosewood table. No one has ever dared to scheme against me. Where are these things right now? Third Master Long, don't worry. You're innocent. Huang Yao is naturally not a place to hide dirty things. Of course, these things have to be handed over to the police, Xing Xiao explained. Originally, we had already exposed this matter and could have settled it privately. However, I feel that Third Master Long should have the right to know. Third Master Long took a sip of tea. His expression was very gloomy. After a long while, he asked Xing Xiao, you want to rope me in? People of different paths can't work together. It's just that when we punish the mastermind, I hope that Third Master Long won't be the one standing in the way. After Third Master Long heard this, he put down his teacup heavily and even spilled the tea on the table. Since you've already thought of a countermeasure, I'll just watch the show. Don't worry, there's a perpetrator for every debt. When you're done, let me know. I'll also go and seek justice. The old man had been all-powerful for his entire life. In the end, he had been tricked by a brat. Third Master Long could not take this lying down. However, he also wanted to verify whether Xing Zhao's words were true or not. Soon, Qingbin came out from behind the rockery after Xing Xiao left. Of course, he did not know that Xing Xiao and Tang Yan had a cooperative relationship. He simply hated the Xing family. These rich families are always looking for trouble. Didn't you go in for money? Third Master Long rolled his eyes at him. Don't be in a hurry to take revenge. Stay by my side and work. I'll find a chance for you. Got it. Qingbin knew that Tang Yan's current status was not something he could easily shake. He needed a detailed plan and a backer. Now, I want to see how the Xing family will fight this battle. Why did Xing Xiao want to deal with Third Master Long? Just as he said, it was so that there would be no resistance when dealing with Xing Kai. If Third Master Long did not know about these things in advance, once the police were involved, Third Master Long might make some false moves to protect himself. Therefore, he needed to make an agreement in advance. One was a noob, and the other was a big shot. They worked well together. However, Muchichi only found out that Xing Xiao had gone to meet Third Master Long that night. You knew about the relationship between Third Master Long and Qing Bin. Why did you go by yourself? Third brother and Su Che both went. Xing Xiao took off his coat as he answered Muchichi. It's just a meeting, not a fight. You don't have to be so paranoid. Nonsense. Third brother said that his 3 lawyers were all knocked unconscious. Muchichi chased after Xing Xiao and kept nagging. Can't you tell me about this in advance? After I found out, I was still scared. No. Only officials are allowed to set fires, and ordinary people are not allowed to light lamps. I have to report to you whenever I go to a dangerous place, but what about you? After hearing Muchichi's words, Xing Xiao wanted to slap Xing Bowen to death. If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't have gone rashly. Xing Xiao hugged the angry little thing from behind and comforted her in a low voice. I also cherish my life. If anything happens to me, who will spoil your lawlessness for the rest of your life? Xing Xiao said as he pulled the little ear. So, I also cherish my life. Do you understand? Chapter 731. Isn't it because you're too infatuated with me? Xing Xiao turned her body around and pinched her chin. Muchichi broke free from his hand and suddenly hugged him tightly. Although I know you're confident, I still feel scared when I think about it. How can a normal family tolerate their husband coming into contact with those dark and dirty things? Muchichi shook his hand off. Don't forget your identity. You're a forensic doctor. Xing Xiao was a little helpless against her fragile heart. It's precisely because I'm a forensic doctor that I know very well that the dirtiest thing in this world is the human heart. Muchichi emphasized. The more I see, the more I know that humans are scarier than ghosts. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. He had no right to speak on this matter and could not convince Muchichi. After all, Muchichi was the one who had been in and out of murder scenes countless times. The two of them hugged quietly for a while. After a long while, Muchichi poked her head out again and asked, So, has everything been settled? Now, I'm looking at Tang Yan's investigation. Other than that, I still have a question in my heart, but I have to wait for the results from Tang Yan's side. Muchichi did not ask further. Anyway, she was only thinking about waiting for the day of the old man's birthday. She also wanted to know how Xing Kai would open the gorgeous and exciting prelude. The diacetylmorphine had already been replaced with lime powder. When the time came, he would probably be happy for nothing. Late that night, Tang Yan received the results of the investigation. There were no problems with the 5 batches of imitations. In other words, Huang Yao's suspicions could be completely cleared. They had accidentally brought this thing into Huang Yao's warehouse. Xing Bowen called Xing Xiao to tell him the good news. The plan could proceed smoothly. However, Xing Xiao's expression became extremely gloomy. If there's no problem with all the people who handled it, then there must be Xing Kai's people in Huang Yao, Xing Xiao said. Xing Xiao said. Think about it. Who will discover and reveal this secret on the old man's birthday? However, you don't have to be in a hurry to look for it. On the day of the incident, whoever calls the police is the mole. That's true, Xing Bowen replied. Xing Bowen replied, although there's no need to deliberately investigate, I can still keep an eye on it just in case. Up to you. 8th brother, what's with your attitude? You know the reason. Xing Xiao hung up the phone without giving Xing Bowen a chance to speak again. Xing Bowen hung up the phone in confusion. When he thought about it, he realized that he might have been too talkative and told Muchichi something he shouldn't have. The little thing was going to pester 8th brother and cause trouble. Just thinking about that scene was very interesting. But it did not matter. That way, the old man's birthday would not only be a gift from that little one Muchichi. There would be even more exciting segments. Some people would definitely pay the price for what they had done. This time, Shinkai had indeed spent a lot of effort to set up a trap to lure these fish into the trap. However, what he should not have done was to allow Gu Xiling to cause trouble for Hu Ran. Otherwise, Xing Xiao would not have been able to trace the matter of the counterfeit goods one by one. Gu Xiling had always been a proud woman. She thought that if she did not tell Hu Ran what she was going to do, she would not reveal Shinkai's plan. However, her attitude had already explained everything. People who were overly conceited often thought themselves to be clever. Late at night, at Gu Xiling's grandfather's house. Grandpa Xing sat at the dining table and looked at Shinkai, who was eating quietly. He asked calmly, "Grandpa Xing's birthday is coming soon. Have you not prepared your birthday gift yet?" "It's ready," Shinkai replied. "Well, do well with your godfather. In the future, it won't be difficult for you to fight against Zhongting, let alone the Xing family. Thank you for your help, Grandpa." Shinkai stood up and bowed to thank him. "I'm not doing this for you. It's for my granddaughter. You must remember this." After saying that, Grandpa Xing stood up from the dining table. "I'll wait for your good news. I trust you very much now." Gu Xiling could not help hugging Shinkai after returning to her room. "I have high hopes for you. I won't let you down." Shinkai was full of confidence in this matter. He had done a lot of distractions. He thought that this matter would be foolproof. But he did not know that Gu Xiling was his biggest flaw. Shinkai wanted to use Grandpa Xing's birthday gift to reappear in the public eye. But, unfortunately, after this matter is over, let me deal with the little secretary by Xing Bowen's side, Gu Xiling said to Shinkai before she took off her clothes and entered the bathroom. "Why? She used to be your person, but in the end, she became Xing Bowen's lackey. Of course, I have to teach her a good lesson. Otherwise, how can I calm the anger in my heart?" Gu Xiling snorted coldly. "We've been looked down upon by so many people and laid low for so long. I don't believe that the Xing family will be safe this time." "Of course I promised you," Shinkai replied to his wife. "How can a woman from a lowly background enter a rich family?" The two of them were probably carried away by the impending victory. They were actually thinking of taking revenge on those who had bullied them after the matter was over. However, Xing Xiao would not give them this chance. He, Shinkai, would never be Xing Xiao's enemy. The next day, there were 3 days left until Grandpa Xing's birthday. Xing Xiao would occasionally ask Muchichi if she had prepared the old man's birthday present. However, Muchichi would always block him with a few words. "There are things that you don't know. I won't tell you." Muchichi snorted. "You're even more anxious than me when it comes to the task you assigned yourself, right? What do you mean by embarrassing me?" "I won't embarrass myself." After saying this, Muchichi got into the car and went to Xingting for class. From the moment she received this task, she had racked her brains and looked for the teachers in Xingting's industrial department. It was not easy for her to find a way to make such a thing. If the old man dared to dislike it, if he dared to say no, then she would never give him a second gift in her life. Of course, she had already prepared the gift. She had even left it somewhere else to maintain the sense of mystery. No one would know what she had made, especially Xiao Xiao, that pig trotter. This time, Xing Xiao really did not know what she was pretending to be. Chapter 732. After Xing Bowen returned home, he did not mention a word to the old man. It was not that he did not want to give him a heads up, but he was worried that he would let his imagination run wild. During dinner, he would also test the old man a little. For example, if his second son came to congratulate him on his birthday, would he welcome him? After hearing this question, the old man looked at Xingbowen strangely. There's no such person in the Xing family for a long time. Why are you still mentioning him? No matter where he's made his fortune now, it has nothing to do with the Xing family. I thought you were going to regret chasing him out. I've done so many things that implicated my children and grandchildren. What I don't regret the most is chasing Xing Kai out of this family. Don't mention this name in front of me in the future, the old man said as he pointed at Xingbowen with his chopsticks. But, it wouldn't be easy. Xingbowen did not say much. Only when he delivered supper to Ren Yufei late at night would he completely let go of his heart. If grandfather knew that Xing Kai wanted to kill the Xing family this time, how sad would he be? Ren Yufei saw his melancholy look and sat beside him. She comforted him. The current situation is much better than we expected. Think about it. If that thing hadn't been discovered, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Xingbowen felt a lingering fear when he thought of this. It seems that I really have to learn more from eighth brother. Otherwise, if I really go to prison, I won't be able to be with you. You've become glib now. Ren Yufei ignored him and got up from his side, but Xingbowen grabbed her wrist. Ren Yufei's center of gravity was unstable and she sat on Xingbowen's lap. These days, the two of them had gotten used to such intimacy. Ren Yufei also knew what sitting on his lap meant. It was an irresistible kiss. However, tonight, Xingbowen could not help but put his hand into Ren Yufei's lapel. It was not until Ren Yufei struggled a little that Xingbowen reacted. I'm sorry, I've crossed the line. Ren Yufei's face turned red. If you really feel sorry, then go home quickly. Are you willing to let us lose such a beautiful and sweet time? Xingbowen hugged Ren Yufei again and asked. Of course I can't bear to, Ren Yufei thought. She didn't even dare to hope for a minute and a second to spend with Xingbowen. You know what? I used to be very envious of Chi-Chi because she dared to say and do anything. She lived a free and carefree life. I know that this has nothing to do with her identity. Even if she was just an ordinary person, I believe that she could live her life to the fullest. So, I also hope that I can have her courage and stand together with you bravely. Eighth brother is a person on the other side of the world, but he was still taken down by Chi-Chi. I'm just an ordinary man, and I also desire sincere feelings. After saying this, Xingbowen picked Ren Yufei up and walked to her bedroom. You want to, after kissing while sitting, I want to kiss while lying down. After saying that, Xingbowen had already placed Ren Yufei on the soft bed. However, his kiss did not carry any lust. There was only seriousness and pity. Why did eighth brother insist on Chi-Chi? In the past, he didn't understand, but now, he understood that some people were irreplaceable. These 3 nights were the calm before the storm, right? That night was also the day that Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan moved into their new house. In fact, the two of them didn't have many things, especially Feng Shanshan. After all, she didn't live in any place for long. After the two of them put away their luggage, they sat on the sofa and enjoyed this moment of peace. Feng Shanshan looked at the man in the dark and couldn't help but smile. Are we considered to be in the upper class? We're actually so close to the mayor and Mu Chi-Chi. You like the upper class life? That was in the past. Now, you're my life. After saying that, Feng Shanshan pounced on Tang Yan. The two of them were about to have a scene on the sofa, but the doorbell rang at this time. Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yan. Feng Shanshan was a little helpless. If I had known, I wouldn't have informed Mu Chi-Chi. I'm going to take a shower. You guys talk. After saying that, Tang Yan got up and returned to the bedroom. Feng Shanshan jumped off the sofa helplessly and got up to open the door. She saw Mu Chi-Chi holding a bottle of red wine, congratulating the two of them on moving into their new house. "You're too stingy. Do you know how much this bottle of wine is worth? I took it out from the wine cellar at home." Mu Chi-Chi quickly explained. "Have a drink. I'm taking things too hard. I want to drink with you. It's not fun. I'm in class now, and I don't go to the forensics laboratory. The time we spend together has been greatly reduced. If you don't want to drink with me, I'll go back. Come in." The two women didn't let the man accompany them. They wrapped themselves in blankets and sat in the courtyard. Each of them had a glass of wine and drank arrogantly. "What's your plan now? Are you giving up on being a forensic doctor?" Feng Shanshan curled up in the chair and smiled. "Tang Yan has already contacted the relevant teachers. I'm going to study by myself. He's quite good to you. But when I first came in, I saw that your ears and neck were red. Now, the hickeys are all out." "The two of you were." Mu Chi-Chi's eyes wandered over Feng Shanshan's body. "Did I disturb the two of you? You just realized?" Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. At the mention of this, Mu Chi-Chi couldn't help but gossip. "To tell you the truth, how's Captain Tang's kung fu? He's definitely not worse than your CEO Xing." Feng Shanshan raised an eyebrow at Mu Chi-Chi. "You want to compare yourself to me in this kind of thing? Of course, an enemy is a lifetime." After Feng Shanshan said that, she laughed. Mu Chi-Chi also laughed. The two women finished Xing Zhao's entire bottle of love fight in the courtyard. Mu Chi-Chi couldn't drink to begin with. Now that they were in the courtyard, she completely lost control. Tang Yan had no choice but to call Xing Zhao. "CEO Xing, I might have to trouble you to bring your woman back." It was only a 5-minute walk from the Banyan courtyard. After taking a shower, Xing Zhao was wearing a black sweater and a brown coat. He looked like a foreign gentleman. But his expression, when he saw Mu Chi-Chi lying on the table in Tang Yan's house, his eyes were about to spit fire. He picked up the little thing and strode out of Tang Yan's house. Chapter 733. "Did you steal my love fight to drink?" Xing Zhao snorted. Mu Chi-Chi shook her head and leaned against Xing Zhao's neck. "Other than preparing a gift for Grandpa, I also prepared something for you. Who told you to say it now?" Xing Zhao hugged her, but he slowed down because he felt that after drinking, she would not be able to hide any secrets in her stomach. If he walked slower, he could ask her a lot of questions. "But I won't tell you what it is. Don't say it. If you dare say it now, I'll strangle you to death." If she said it out loud, there would be no surprise. Mu Chi-Chi giggled foolishly and fell asleep in Xing Zhao's arms. Xing Zhao had wanted to ask more, but he couldn't bring himself to do so. After carrying her home, he washed her in the bathtub, put her on the bed, and fell asleep with her in his arms. However, the same situation did not work on Feng Shanshan's side. Feng Shanshan deliberately pretended to sleep, but Tang Yan ignored her the whole time. This made Feng Shanshan very angry. Lying on the bed, she could not pretend anymore. Mu Chi-Chi will definitely be taken care of in every possible way when she goes home, but what about me? Are you just going to leave me alone? After Tang Yan finished showering, there were still water droplets sliding down his muscles. He only said, "I know you won't get drunk after 1,000 drinks." Feng Shanshan was speechless. "Boring man, have you never had sex after drinking?" Tang Yan turned around and looked at Feng Shanshan, who reeked of alcohol. "I didn't drink, but I don't mind being crazier than I was." "Then what are you waiting for?" Feng Shanshan took the initiative to pull the towel around his waist. Tang Yan had been investigating Qing Bin for a few days, but Qing Bin looked like a good citizen. It seemed like he had no intention of taking revenge. However, he was secretly contacting Third Master Long. From this, Tang Yan guessed that Qing Bin wanted Third Master Long to be his backer. However, Qing Bin would not take revenge on him in the short term because Third Master Long would not give people a chance for nothing. He had to let Qing Bin achieve something under him. Therefore, he did not plan to waste any more time on Qing Bin. The Special Investigations team still needed him to go back and lead the team. But now, what he needed to find out the most was who had gotten the goods from that batch of things that had appeared in Huangyao. 2 days later, the Xing family's birthday banquet would be held. Everyone knew that Grandpa Xing had undergone surgery and was hospitalized. Perhaps it was to make the old man happy. Xing Bowen had been preparing since a month ago. He wanted to make the old man happy. 2 days before the old man's birthday banquet, Xing Bowen had already gotten someone to check the guest list and the security personnel. Of course, due to some special reasons, Xing Bowen had to communicate with the security personnel beforehand so that the show would not be delayed. Xing Bowen acted as if he did not know about the things in Huang Yao's warehouse. He continued to check whatever he wanted, which made Xing Kai let his guard down, thinking that he was already in the middle of a whirlpool. Since they were going to put on a big show, of course, he would do his best to cooperate, but at the moment, they had no way of knowing who the mole that eighth brother was talking about was. The night before Old Master Xing's birthday banquet, Xing Kai was still confirming whether Xing Bowen had found the things in Huang Yao's warehouse. After confirming that Xing Bowen did not know, he contacted the mole. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, call the police. I guarantee that the police will catch them on the spot. Keep in touch. I've already set up a channel for you. I understand. I will definitely live up to your expectations, the mole replied on the phone. Xing Kai hung up the phone and felt even more excited and nervous. It was tomorrow. It was tomorrow. After such a long period of humiliation and torture, he would be able to take revenge tomorrow. Of course, he would also go to the old man's birthday banquet tomorrow. He wanted to see for himself what kind of expressions the old man and Xing Bowen would have. It would definitely be exciting. The next morning, the Xing family was extremely lively. Old Master Xing woke up early in the morning. He was in high spirits and his face was glowing. The blessings and gifts from his children and grandchildren were also delivered to him one after another. Although there were all kinds of novelties, none of the gifts were truly delivered to his heart. As for Xing Bowen, he had promised to bring Secretary Ren over, so it could be considered that he was filial. However, Ren Yufei was not someone Xing Bowen could casually brush off. She also seriously prepared a birthday gift for Old Master Xing. She used all kinds of sleeping herbs to make a healthy pillow for the old man. The doctor said that these herbs have a very good effect on the recovery of the brain. I hope you won't mind, Chairman. Old Master Xing took the gift and pointed at Xing Bowen. Look, you're not as sensible as little Ren. Tonight, I'll use the pillow. Xing Bowen smiled proudly because he did not expect Ren Yufei to be so attentive. Therefore, in private, he lowered his head and whispered into Ren Yufei's ear. Why didn't you tell me? You've been racking your brains for the past few days. I didn't want to distract you, so I made the decision on my own, Ren Yufei explained. Yufei, you've done well. Now, everyone was stretching their necks, waiting to see the gift from Mu Chi-Chi. We're almost out. Why aren't eighth brother and Chi-Chi here yet? Old Master Xing asked. Chi-Chi must still be having a headache about what to give. After all, it was eighth brother's order. Xing Bowen laughed. Now that he had Ren Yufei's filial pillow, it would be even more difficult to surpass Mu Chi-Chi. Is the old man that hard to please? Wasn't he in the past? The old man was stunned when he heard this, but he also laughed. I'm in a good mood today. I won't argue with you. It was at this moment that Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi entered the Xing family's hall. Su Che followed behind Mu Qiqi with a big box in his arms. Why are you so late? Xing Bowen quickly went up to them and asked Mu Qiqi. I accompanied her to get something, so. Xing Zhao's gaze fell on the box covered with a black cloth. He really didn't know what this thing was up to. You don't know what she's going to give. Xing Xiao shook his head. It's such a big thing. I'm afraid it won't reach the old man's heart. Xing Bowen sighed. The box was big and heavy, so it was definitely not practical. Qiqi, what's in that box? Old Master Xing pointed at the box on Su Che's shoulder and asked Mu Qiqi, what are you up to? A gift for you. Mu Qiqi turned around and gestured for Su Che to put it down. Stop keeping me in suspense. What exactly is it? Take it out and let me see. We're about to go to the banquet venue. Old Master Sheng was also anxious. Let me say this first. If you don't like it, I won't give you any more gifts. Mu Qiqi walked in front of Su Che and personally placed the box in front of the old man. You're weird. Open it. Mu Qiqi removed the black cloth and revealed an ordinary wooden box. It looked ordinary, so of course, it was not something precious. However, when Mu Qiqi opened the lid of the box, Old Master Sheng's eyes widened. Chapter 734. Everyone craned their necks to look. They wanted to know what was inside the black box that could make the old man show such an indescribable expression. Xiao Qi, what did you take out to scare Grandpa like this? With that, Xing Bowen was about to move forward, but he was stopped by the old man. Wait. The others looked at the old man in confusion. Wasn't it just a gift? Did he have to be so mysterious? Old Xing squatted down and took out the gift that everyone was curious about from the box. It was a fine wooden walking stick. When everyone saw it, they immediately sighed. TSK, I thought it was something amazing. Xiao Qi, you're fooling this old man too much. Xing Bowen also laughed. Mu Qiqi smiled but did not say anything. She just turned her head and glanced at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao pulled the little one in front of him and rubbed her head hard. Everyone thought that it was just a walking stick. However, no one noticed that the old man's expression when he received the walking stick was that tears almost seeped out of the corner of his eyes. He stroked the walking stick up and down, carefully observing the lines on it. The more he looked, the more he loved it. Grandpa. Xing Bowen called out to the old man. Do you like it or not? This walking stick is made of rare gloomy wood. The carvings on it are exactly the same as my old one. But do you know why I can't bear to throw away the old one? Your grandmother bought it for me when she was still alive. I've used it for so many years that the carvings on it have all been smoothed out by me. Now that I have this new one, I can properly treasure the one your grandmother bought for me. After hearing the old man's words, everyone suddenly understood why the old man's expression was not very happy, but complicated. Girl, how did you know? I don't know. I just saw that you have always used this walking stick. It's been a few years, but you still insist on using it, so I guessed. For someone as powerful as you to use an old object for so long, it shows how important it is, Mu Qiqi replied. The carvings on it are based on my memory. I searched for them on the internet, and then I carved them according to them. Are you praising me or belittling me? Also, did you carve this yourself? When I bought it, it was just a piece of wood. I even went to school to find a lot of teachers and students who studied industrial design. Otherwise, do you think I could still buy an antique with the same carving? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. Old man, are you satisfied? Old Master Xing held his walking stick and tried it on the ground. He looked happy. It's really good and comfortable. Sure enough, eighth brother didn't dote on you for nothing. Xing Bowen gave Mu Chi-Chi a thumbs up. On the other hand, Mu Chi-Chi couldn't be bothered with him at all. Instead, she asked Xing Xiao for credit. I did it. What reward will you give me? Didn't you prepare a gift for me? Xing Xiao raised his eyebrows and exposed the secret that someone had revealed when she was drunk. How did you know? Mu Chi-Chi was puzzled. Who told you? You'll only know the answer when you see the gift, Xing Xiao whispered into her ear. Could it be that these things that she had prepared were discovered by this man again? That shouldn't be the case. This time, she was so secretive, unless this man could read minds. When old Master Xing received such a gift, Mu Chi-Chi had hit the nail on the head. Fortunately, he did not break them up back then. Otherwise, he would not have known that this girl was actually such a clever thing. No wonder eighth brother loved her so much. Third brother, quick, help me put the thing that your grandmother gave me in this box. I want to hang it in my bedroom. Xing Bowen smiled and helped old Master Xing put away the badly worn walking stick. Then, he asked the new butler to put it in his room. Old Master Xing was happy. Then, the group of people drove their respective cars to the birthday banquet venue. Although sixth brother was still not used to Mu Chi-Chi, he had to admit that Mu Chi-Chi was like a spirit beast that eighth brother had raised. She did not have any other abilities, but her ability to read minds was top-notch. Even the descendants of the old man who had been by his side all year round did not know what was on his mind. However, Mu Chi-Chi could actually see through it and come up with such a thoughtful gift. Just based on this, he had to admit defeat. When old Master Xing received other gifts, he only took a glance and asked the butler to put them in his room. Only this walking stick was in his hand. After getting into the car, his eyes never left the walking stick. Soon, the Xing family arrived at the Di Xing Hotel where the birthday banquet was held. The guests also went to the hotel garden to celebrate old Master Xing's birthday. However, no one expected that there would be a wonderful show that was about to be staged in addition to old Master Xing's birthday banquet. At 9:30 a.m., Xing Kai also brought Gu Xiling, who was dressed up, to Di Xing. On such an important day, old Master Xing should not be so heartless as to be happy. After all, there was still a grandson suffering outside. He wanted old Master Xing to remember this no matter where and when. After getting into the car, Gu Xiling could not help but turn to her husband and ask, "Can you guarantee that nothing will go wrong? We've been waiting for this day for too long. We can't afford to make any mistakes. You have to know that grandfather has high hopes for you. If you can't even deal with the old man of the Xing family and Xing Bowen, then godfather's trust in you will definitely be greatly reduced. I'm more nervous about this plan than you are, so you don't have to worry," Xing Kai answered as he drove. Although it was the day of revenge, Gu Xiling could not help but be nervous. Because she really wanted to see the Xing family suffer a crushing defeat. "I believe you." Xing Kai nodded. He had spent so much effort and used so many clues just to prevent Xing Xiao from seeing through his plan. However, it turned out that he had overestimated Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao did not pay attention to this at all. In that case, the scene later would only be more exciting. It was already 10:00 in the morning. Xing Bowen looked at the time on his watch and then looked for Xing Xiao in the crowd. So far, there was no movement from Xing Kai's side. "Why are you in such a hurry?" Mu Chi-Chi glared at him with champagne in her hand. "Look at you. You're even more excited than Xing Kai." "Xing Kai hasn't made a move yet. I'm afraid he'll do something else." Xing Bowen was worried about this. You finally know to prepare for a rainy day. Mu Chichi smiled. The reason why Xing Xiao was because he would try his best to imagine everything that would happen and stop it. No one could do it as flawlessly as him. Chapter 735. They waited for 2 hours, but there was still no sign of Xingkai. It seemed that he did not intend to participate in the competition. Puzzled, Xingboan arranged for the guests to enter the banquet hall one after another. Lunch was about to begin soon, and at that time, the Shin family came with gifts to celebrate. Ever since Grandpa Shin retired, he had been living in seclusion. But today, for the sake of his old friend, he finally abandoned his pond and dressed up to attend Grandpa Shing's birthday banquet. The two old men met and started chatting again. They talked about everything under the sun, and their smiles were full of wrinkles. The old man is smiling very happily now. I wonder if he can bear it later. Mu Chichi frowned as she watched the old man and her grandfather chat. She could not help but sigh. Instead of thinking too much, it's better to deal with it properly. Xing Xiao hugged her and brought her around to greet the guests. Let's not wait for now. The luncheon is about to start. Let's all go in. Xingboan hugged Ren Yufei and said to the two of them. The guests entered the banquet hall one after another. The atmosphere was harmonious and warm. Although the birthday banquet was a big event, Xingboan only invited friends who made the old man happy. Those who had conflicts with him were all excluded. After all, the most important thing was to make the old man happy. Everyone took their seats in the luxurious banquet hall. The MC on the stage was about to let old Xing step forward to express his thoughts. At this time, many of the people present had begun to receive news that something had happened to Huang Yao. After all, they were all well-known figures in the business world. Everyone had always paid attention to the developments in the industry. Some had received accurate information, while others only knew that many police officers had arrived at Huang Yao's warehouse. And judging from the Xing family's current state of mind, it was clear that they had not received any news at all. The host was so enthusiastic, and it was the old master's birthday, so they didn't want to remind him of this kind of thing, and they didn't know how to open their mouths. Hey, have you guys heard? We found that thing in Huang Yao's warehouse. I also received the news. What's going on? Huang Yao is also involved in this business. I have friends in the police, and they've already dispatched the police. It's definitely true. It's just that the current situation is very awkward. We don't know what to say. In the banquet hall, 2 or 3 people began to whisper to each other. Finally, Xingboan received a call. The police have arrived. The identity of the mole has been confirmed. Those guys are under the control of the police. I believe it will only take 10 minutes for the police to arrive. I understand. When Xingboan received the call, he did not panic. Instead, he felt more at ease. Because this meant that Xingkai's plan had not changed. It was the same as before. Then, Xingboan stood up and said to Xing Xiao and Mu Chichi, the show is about to begin. Having said that, he walked towards old Xing and whispered in his ear, something happened in Huang Yao. I'll go and deal with it now. Grandfather, 8th brother is here. You don't have to worry about anything. After the old man heard this, he was stunned for a moment. He turned his head and asked, what is it? Why do you need to leave now? It's under control. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. After saying that, Xingboan was about to leave. After all, he had to put on a good show. When everyone saw him get up and leave, they knew that he must have known that Huang Yao was being investigated by the police. Of course, he had to rush back to deal with it immediately. Old Xing's expression was a little worried. In fact, it was not that he was unaware. He vaguely knew that on his birthday, there would definitely be people with bad intentions. However, he did not expect that they would find third brother. Old Xing continued to stay in the main seat. According to this segment, he would go up and say a few words. However, just as the MC handed the microphone to Old Xing, the door of the banquet hall was suddenly pushed open. Then, the police who had received the tip-off walked up the red carpet and entered the banquet hall. "Sorry to disturb your birthday celebration, old man. However, we would like to ask, who is in charge of Huang Yao? Come out immediately." "I am." Xing Bowen had already walked to the side door. He retreated and faced the police. "Today is my grandfather's birthday. I wonder if someone reported that a large amount of diacetyl morphine had appeared in Huang Yao's warehouse." The police received the news and immediately went to investigate. "Indeed, they found something similar in the warehouse, so we need you to return to the police station with us to cooperate with the investigation." "What is diacetyl morphine?" Xing Bowen asked despite knowing the answer. "It's powder. It's something that causes hallucinations." The police used body language to explain. "Officer, I'm afraid you've misunderstood. How could there be such things in Huang Yao's warehouse? We're all honest businessmen. Whether it's true or not, you can come back with us to investigate first." 4 police officers, 2 in plain clothes and 2 in police uniforms. When old Master Xing saw this, he got up from his table and walked in front of them. His voice trembled slightly. "Officer, are you mistaken? Our Huang Yao only makes the sound of diamonds and jewelry. We don't have any descendants to touch those things. Sir, whether it's true or not, we have to verify it before we know. If you didn't do it, the police will naturally prove your innocence." "Grandpa, it's fine. I'll go with them." Xing Bowen comforted the old man. "Today is your birthday. Be happy. I promise you that nothing will happen to me." Old Master Xing did not say anything. He leaned on his walking stick with a gloomy expression. "Sir, please make things convenient for us." The police officers were also in a difficult position. When Mu Chichit saw this, she quickly went forward and said to the old man, "Third brother promised you that nothing will happen to you. At the very least, your favorite 8th brother is sitting there motionlessly. If you need anything, look for him." Old Master Xing looked in Xing Zhao's direction. Seeing that he was really indifferent, he took a deep breath. Then, he subconsciously took 2 steps back so that the police could bring him in. However, Xing Kai seized this opportunity in time to walk straight into the banquet hall through the door. He even pretended to be late. "It looks like I'm late and missed some wonderful show." Xing Kai brought Gu Xiling with him. He held the gift in his hand and walked to the old man with a smile on his face. "Grandpa, I'm here to celebrate your birthday." When the old man saw this, he knew what was going on. He directly said to Xing Kai coldly, "If you want to hate someone, hate me alone. Don't vent your anger on third brother." "Grandpa, what are you talking about?" Xing Kai gestured to Gu Xiling and handed the gift to old Master Xing. However, old Master Xing directly threw the box away. "Don't think that I don't know that what happened today was planned by you." Chapter 736. Grandpa Xing's chest kept heaving as if he was trying hard to adjust his emotions. "Mr. Xing, let's go." The police urged Xing Bowen, reminding him not to waste any more time. Xing Bowen did not say anything else. He had nothing to say to someone like Xing Kai. He only said to Grandpa Xing, "Grandpa, don't be angry. It's your birthday today. Don't forget that 8th brother is still here. If something really happened to me, he wouldn't be so calm. Trust me and 8th brother. Don't let those people take advantage of us." I'll be back soon. Grandpa Xing did not look at Xing Kai's direction. He only said to Xing Bowen, I won't let anything happen to my grandson. To Xing Kai, this was a slap in the face. In the past, Grandpa Xing loved eighth brother. Now, he doted on third brother. But, he never really cared about second brother. Xing Kai watched coldly as Xing Bowen was taken away. Then, he pulled Gu Xiling and squatted down to pick up the gift that Grandpa Xing had thrown away. Then, he handed it back to Grandpa Xing. Grandpa, it's such a good day today. Why are you angry? Grandpa Xing leaned on his walking stick. His eyes were sharp and vicious. If anything happens to third brother, I won't let you go even if I die. Xing Kai sneered. Then, he threw away the gift and said to Grandpa Xing, third brother, eighth brother, even sixth brother and seventh brother have been doted on by you. But what about me? Who cares about me? If something happens to third brother, it's his own fault. He did something illegal and implicated Huang Yao. How can you blame it on me indiscriminately? Just because I was kicked out by you. Look at you. You dote on eighth brother, but he doesn't want you. You dote on third brother, but he did such a disgraceful thing. What's the use of you? Grandpa Xing was so agitated that his face turned red. Mu Chi-Chi immediately shielded him behind her. Grandpa Xing did not know where this little girl got her courage and strength from. She was so small, but she came to protect an old thing like him. Looking at eighth brother, he still did not say a word. It was as if he did not care about this at all. Grandpa, go sit next to Xiao Xiao. Watch the show. Go. Old Xing did not understand, and was pushed to Xing Xiao by Mu Chi-Chi. Meanwhile, Mu Chi-Chi faced them confidently, even crossing her arms and lifting a brow. I'm guessing you've been waiting outside for a long time, haven't you? When he saw the police come in, he quickly followed behind them. Is this a good show? Mu Chi-Chi, why are you everywhere? Gu Xiling said mockingly. How is it our responsibility when the Xing family has a scandal? Today, we came to celebrate Grandpa's birthday with good intentions. You're being kind. If you were really kind-hearted, you wouldn't have tried to sow discord between the Hu family and the Xing family a few days ago. Gu Xiling, seeing Hu Ran going out of control, you must be very angry and upset, right? You. Gu Xiling was at a loss for words. I know. Xing Kai is here to give Grandpa a gift. Since he has already given it to him, you can leave now. Mu Chi-Chi pointed at the hotel entrance. Forgive me for not seeing you off. Seeing this, Xing Kai could not help but laugh. Mu Chi-Chi, you probably don't know what mistake Xing Bowen has made this time, do you? The news has already spread like wildfire. Are you still in the mood to celebrate your birthday here? Do you know how long the diacetyl morphine found in Huang Yao's warehouse will be enough for him to stay in prison? You're still boasting shamelessly. Let me tell you, even if Xing Xiao comes forward, he can't be saved. Not only that, but the Xing family can't be saved either. When old Xing heard this, he was about to get excited again, but Xing Xiao stopped him. Look at the old man's face. How anxious he is. This is retribution for giving power to third brother and chasing me out of the family. Mu Chi-Chi could not help but laugh out loud when she heard Xing Kai's emotional sigh. She really found it funny. What are you laughing at? Xing Kai asked Mu Chi-Chi. Do you think the Xing family can escape this time? Why can't they escape? Ha! Mu Chi-Chi laughed so hard that her stomach hurt. Please, even if we all know that you planned all of this, please cover it up a little. Otherwise, the ones who will be embarrassed in the end will be you. I really thought that you would be able to put on a good show after so long. I didn't expect, you're still so retarded. If you don't believe me, look for yourself. Muchichi gestured for Shinkai to look at the door of the banquet hall. Shinkai was about to speak, but he saw Xingbowen, who had just been brought out by the police, walk back as if nothing had happened. That's right, he returned to the birthday banquet venue in front of everyone. Shinkai was surprised, but he saw Xingbowen return to old Master Xing's side and whisper to him, "Grandpa, I told you that everything is fine. Aren't I back now? Is it really fine?" "That's impossible." Shinkai pointed at Xingbowen. "You're so sure of yourself. You won't be able to escape, and you're still saying that you didn't plan this?" Muchichi snorted coldly. "It's impossible for him to escape. Why was he released again? Let me tell you the answer. Because a few days ago, we found out that there was a problem with a batch of counterfeit packaging boxes in Huang Yao's warehouse. A large amount of diacetylmorphine was put in the interlayer of the packaging box. What should we do? Someone framed us. We had no choice. Huang Yao immediately called the police and let the police investigate. These things have nothing to do with Huang Yao. The police are wise and powerful. They quickly proved Huang Yao's innocence. But who is it that wants to frame Huang Yao? We have to continue investigating. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Shinkai couldn't believe it. He thought that Muchichi had been fabricating it. Fool, do you think everyone knows about diacetylmorphine? Your mole saw that it was something like white powder and hurriedly went to call the police. However, it was just lime powder that we had changed. The police verified that it wasn't diacetylmorphine, so of course they had to let him go. Shinkai's expression changed when he heard this. You're the stupidest. You wanted to enjoy the old man's anxious expression when the police arrested third brother. Your stupidest part was that you let Gu Xiling look for who ran and used her to deal with third brother. Isn't that a blatant lie? If you don't have the intelligence, don't come out and do stupid things. Just now, your expressions were as smug as they were stupid. After hearing Muchichi's words, Shinkai was very concerned at first. However, after thinking about it, he calmed down. Is that so? But I don't understand a single word you said. Chapter 737. I did so much for Huang Yao, but what happened? If Xingbowen really did that kind of despicable thing, wouldn't you be angry if you were him? Muchichi shook her head and almost choked Shinkai. I'm not angry. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. Anyway, we already know who your mole is. Most importantly, you haven't forgotten who you sold the blueprints to, right? You want to use Third Master Long, but have you forgotten who he is? Shinkai, if I were you, I would be very troubled right now. Because the police have already suspected that you are the owner of that batch of diacetylmorphine from your plan. Do you think they will focus their investigation on you after investigating Huang Yao? You have no evidence. I don't have any evidence, but the mole does. Muchichi approached Shinkai and said, Who are you showing off your intelligence in front of? Friend, there are so many seniors here, and so many outstanding talents. What makes you think that your plan can deceive everyone and everyone? Do you see the man across from you? Regarding today's matter, he doesn't even want to look at you. Do you know why? Because it's too low level. He can't be bothered to waste his energy. Muchichi pointed at Xingshao. Shinkai looked up at Xingshao. As expected, Xingshao was calm throughout the whole process. There was no trace of panic at all. The shame and anger in his heart rushed to his head. Dear guests, I'm really sorry for dirtying your eyes today. There was a small conflict with the Xing family, but everything has been resolved. I hope you won't take it to heart. What's the point of watching a good show with the hotel service? I'm serving the dishes. After apologizing to the guests, Mu Chi-Chi turned to look at Xingkai. Aren't you leaving? Do you want to stay here and be laughed at by others? Or do you want to stay here and watch everyone eat? Let me tell you, there is no place for you here. Not now, not in the future. At that moment, Xingkai wanted nothing more than to find a hole to hide in. He had come to enjoy Grandpa Xing's painful expression and Xing Bowen's regretful tears. However, he did not get to see anything. Instead, he was played by this family from beginning to end. It turned out that it wasn't that Xing Xiao didn't notice. He just kept quiet and lured him into taking the bait. Still not leaving. Grandfather and I have lost all face because of you. Gu Xiling ran out of the banquet hall without a care for her image. She was so stupid to believe that Xingkai had the ability to defeat the Xing family again and again. She had laid low for so long and schemed for so long, but the Xing family treated it as a joke. Whenever Gu Xiling recalled Mu Chi-Chi's words and expression just now, she wanted to die of shame and anger. Why could Mu Chi-Chi be with Xing Xiao while she married such a disappointing husband? Xingkai had no choice but to leave Grandpa Xing's birthday party. What made him feel the most ashamed and resentful was that no one cared about his departure. No one even looked at him. It was as if he was just a clown who came to perform a comedy. Most importantly, Mu Chi-Chi had made this matter clear. Even if others did not have any evidence, Third Master Long and the police would treat him as a target. This was like trying to steal a chicken only to end up losing the rice used to lure it. Xingkai left the banquet hall, but Gu Xiling had already driven away. She did not take her husband seriously at all. He was already living under someone else's roof. After being humiliated by Gu Xiling like this, he felt even more subservient. Wherever he went, he would be ostracized. However, he could only endure it. Old Master Xing's birthday banquet continued with a climax. The guests also received the news one after another. The matter with Huang Yao was a complete misunderstanding. The thing found in Huang Yao's warehouse was just ordinary lime powder. It was not diacetyl morphine at all. At this moment, Xing Bowen and Xing Xiao were sitting on either side of the old man. The rest of the Xing family were also in a calm mood. The old man sighed. You knew about this a long time ago. Why didn't you say anything? If you had known earlier, you would have definitely been worried about my ability. Although I'm not like eighth brother who can strategize everything, I know how to ask for help. I also know how to unite and cooperate. Instead of making you worry all the time, it's better to let you worry for a while. This can be considered a precious gift from your descendants, Xing Bowen explained to the old man with a smile. These two little girls know about it too. The old man pointed at Mu Chi-Chi and Ren Yufei and asked Xing Bowen. Of course. The thing in the box was discovered by Xiao Qi. People who study forensics are indeed different. Anything can attract her attention, Xing Bowen said. Xing Bowen raised his glass and clinked it with Mu Chi-Chi's. Your performance just now was wonderful. Really? I can perform better next time. Old Master Xing laughed when he heard that. This girl was born to fight. She was good at all kinds of fights. She was invincible in the world and had never lost a battle until now. It was no wonder that eighth brother did not even bother to move his butt from the beginning to the end. It was because he knew very well that everything was under their control. I'm afraid I'll never forget today's birthday. I thought I was going to lose my life here today. Xing Bowen did not expect the old man to care about him so much. Grandfather, as your grandson, this is the first time I've felt your worry. Humph, old Master Xing snorted. Xingkai's plan failed. There will definitely be a follow-up. He can't make such a big plan alone. Although eighth brother saw through it, he will definitely do it again. No matter what he wants to do or who he wants to deal with, eighth brother and I will definitely work together to stop him. He won't succeed, Xingboan said confidently. Don't forget that you still have a weird granddaughter-in-law. She's not to be trifled with. No matter what, today was a thrilling day for the old man. Is Huang Yao really fine? Has everything been dealt with? Don't worry. When we found this thing, eighth brother immediately called the police. The police dealt with it quickly and cleared Huang Yao of suspicion. But there's a problem now. We don't know how many Xingkai spies are in Huang Yao. The person who reported the case to the police is Xingkai's spy. Now, Xingboan was even more guarded against the employees of Huang Yao. I think it was this mole who paved the way for Xingkai to come to Huang Yao to steal the blueprints. Chapter 738. When Mu Qiqi returned to her seat, Xing Xiao tilted his head and looked at her. Are you happy today? Why do you say that? Mu Qiqi was surprised. Don't I know you well enough? Isn't this what you like the most? Xing Xiao's eyes were handsome. When he lowered his head with his back to the light, he gave off a strong sense of oppression. Mu Qiqi could not stand it. Don't say it if you know I like it, Mu Qiqi said softly. Where's my present? Mu Qiqi reached out her hand and pinched Xing Xiao's thigh under the table. It's not the time for you to ask for a present, Xing Xiao smiled calmly. He did not chase away the little hand that was harassing his thigh. Instead, he continued chatting with Grandpa Shen. The lunch continued. The guests said that it was worth it to come today. They had watched a good show. It also made them believe that the future Huang Yao would be more brilliant than when Grandpa Xing was managing it. On the other hand, Gu Xiling selfishly drove away, leaving Xing Kai to take a taxi home. He knew that he had disappointed Gu Xiling's family today. But now, he had to rely on Gu Xiling to make a comeback. So, even if he was shameless, he still returned to Gu Xiling's house. But the current situation was that even the servants in the house did not bother to look at him. Gu Xiling even sat on the sofa and complained to her mother. Mom, I feel that I have a hard life. Why did I marry such a man? These words were harsh enough to the ears of others. But Xing Kai could still bear it. Xiling, you've embarrassed the whole family. You'd better wait for Grandpa to come back and make a decision. Anyway, I'm very disappointed in you now. Gu Xiling got up from the sofa and stormed back to the bedroom. Mama Gu glanced at Xing Kai and shook her head helplessly. I really don't know why I agreed to marry Xiling to you. Xing Kai said nothing and went to the garden alone with his tail between his legs. He knew that there was no place for him in this family. But he had nowhere else to go. He had planned this very well. Even Mu Qiqi had said that if Gu Xiling had not gone to look for who ran, Xing Xiao would not have found out. But in the end, Gu Xiling had pushed all the blame to him. If he was not living under someone else's roof, he would have kicked a woman like Gu Xiling far away. Why was he the only one living in such a sorry state among the Xing family? He was not convinced. After a whole day of excitement, Grandpa Xing just wanted a moment of peace. So, after sending all the guests away, he said to Xingboan and the others, you guys go too. Go and date. Let me fish with old Shen. Xingboan knew that he was annoyed by the noise for the whole day. He smiled and said, then we're really leaving. You can go home with old Shin. Old Kai, let's go. The old man held his forehead in annoyance. He didn't want to suffer like this again during his birthday. Xing said. Kai, Xing and Xing Xing Xiao Xing Qiqi. Xing not. No, I want to go home. With that, Xing Xiao dragged Mu Qiqi into the car. Why? Xing Bowen was confused. In the end, he could only say to Ren Yufei, since you're ignoring us, we can only go watch a movie by ourselves. Do you want to watch it? Anything is fine. Ren Yufei touched her arm and smiled. Besides, you don't really want to drink with Chi-Chi. Have I been seen through? Xing Bowen laughed heartily and pulled Ren Yufei into his arms. He whispered in her ear, I just want to pretend to be crazy and take advantage of you. Ren Yufei's face turned red, but she did not push Xing Bowen away. She enjoyed the ambiguity and sweetness of being in a relationship. She also longed to kiss this man. Let's go watch a movie. Mu Chi-Chi sat in the car and watched the two of them hugging each other on the road. She was extremely envious, so she turned to look at her man and said, It's been a long time since we hugged each other like that. We're indeed an old couple. Are there no more passion? Someone did not say anything. He just closed his eyes and took a nap. A married man starts to pay attention to his image and starts to dislike his wife. Xing Xiao was still indifferent. However, just as Mu Chi-Chi was about to continue nagging, Xing Xiao suddenly pressed her against the back of the seat and forcefully sealed her thin lips. Once Mu Chi-Chi was about to speak, Xing Xiao would directly bite her lower lip, making it impossible for her to speak. The two of them kissed all the way. When they reached home, Mu Chi-Chi's lips were already swollen. No one could look at them. In order not to be discovered by Mama Xing, Mu Chi-Chi ran straight back to the bedroom. This made Mama Xing and Xing Xiao ask Xing Xiao in confusion, What's wrong with Xiao Qi? It's nothing. I'm in a hurry to go to the bathroom. Your father and I didn't go today. It seems like we missed a good show. Second brother is really surprising. Xing Xiao said a few words to Mama Xing and quickly returned to the bedroom. However, his expression did not show that he was in a hurry at all. Mu Chi-Chi buried herself in the quilt. She planned to ignore this man for the whole night because her lips were really painful. A married woman has completely forgotten how willing she was when she had a crush on him. If it were in the past, you wouldn't be angry no matter how I kissed you. Xing Xiao sat on the edge of the bed and deliberately said that in a vengeful manner. Mu Chi-Chi snorted coldly under the quilt. Xing Xiao shook his head and did not say anything else. He took his bathrobe and went to the bathroom. Mu Chi-Chi heard that there was no response from outside for a long time. She poked her head out and found that the damn man had actually gone to take a shower by himself. Mu Chi-Chi took the opportunity to look at her school bag. Then, she took out a small, exquisite box. When Xing Xiao was not paying attention, she sneaked into the study and put the box on Xing Xiao's desk. The cufflinks she gave Xing Xiao were treated like a treasure by this man. In the end, it was because she had given this man too little. This thing was also carved by herself. Although it was not as exquisite as the one sold outside, it was all her sincerity. After quietly putting away the things, she returned to the bed as if nothing had happened. After the man came out of the bathroom, she went in to take a shower. Because this man had a habit of staying in the study for a while every day. Today was no exception. Xing Xiao followed his habit. He wrapped himself in a black bathrobe and entered the study. However, his gaze was instantly attracted by the small wooden box on the table. Just like the big box he gave the old man during the day, it looked inconspicuous from the outside. Xing Xiao smiled faintly. It seemed that he would have to get this little one to drink more in the future. Chapter 739. Xing Xiao walked to the desk and gently picked up the box. He opened it and saw 3 neat rows of wooden bookmarks. Each bookmark was carved into various decorative patterns. Considering his identity, this little thing must have spent a lot of effort to restrain itself from carving flowers and trees. Instead, it carved these textured patterns. It was probably because most of the books in the study had their legs broken by him. That was why this little thing thought of making such a set. In his hand, it was as thin as a cicada's wing. But it was so thin. The possibility of it breaking was very high, wasn't it? Xing Xiao thought about it and called Su Che. Come over early tomorrow. There's something I need you to take care of. The great chief Xing was going to preserve this thing and then seal it. At the very least, he had to be able to take out the things the little thing gave him until he died. Because of Mu Qiqi's gifts, Xing Xiao spent a little more time in the study. He carefully took out each of them and studied them before putting them away. At first, he was very disdainful when old Master Xing got his walking stick and couldn't let it go. But now. Then, he returned to the bedroom as if nothing had happened. He saw that Mu Qiqi was already lying on the bed with her back facing him. Xing Xiao lay down and forced Mu Qiqi to turn over. What? Mu Qiqi asked in annoyance. I received the gift, Xing Xiao said calmly as he hugged her. Humph, Mu Qiqi snorted. If she had known that she would be kiss-swollen, she wouldn't have prepared any gift for him. Take revenge however you want. I won't fight back, Xing Xiao promised in her ear. Really? Mu Qiqi looked up in disbelief. But when she thought about it, this person was obviously pleased by the gift. That was why he was so generous. I'll owe you for today. I'll settle the score with you later. But my lips really hurt tonight. They're burning. Xing Xiao lowered his head and hooked her chin to take a look. It was true. So, he immediately got out of bed and applied some anti-inflammatory medicine. If you say something heartless again in the future, I'll teach you a lesson again. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she immediately turned her back to him. Xing Xiao hugged her from behind and comforted her softly. Isn't it enough for you to throw a tantrum all the way here? I can't do anything to you. At night, Grandpa Gu went out and returned home. When he saw Gu Xiling and her daughter sitting on the sofa with a gloomy expression, he knew what they were doing. When I get home, I see your faces. Are you trying to make me feel bad? Grandfather, what happened in the Xing family today? Gu Xiling immediately wanted to explain, unwilling to lose her grandfather's love for Xing Kai. But she was interrupted by Grandpa Gu. Where's Xing Kai? Grandpa Gu asked. Why don't I see him? He's been in the garden all day. He doesn't have the face to come in. Gu Xiling's eyes were red as she answered sorrowfully. Bastard, no matter what, he is still your husband. How can you lock your own husband outside the door? Grandpa Gu reprimanded Gu Xiling. A man's dignity shouldn't be trampled on like this. You'll only make him more depressed. But you saw what happened today, grandfather. He definitely doesn't have the ability or the means to fight the Xing family. What hope do I have? Gu Xiling cried. You know that I like capable men. I just want the strongest husband. You have to be clear. You're already married. Your husband can be a coward, but you can't marry me again. Grandfather. Go and call him in, Grandpa Gu ordered sternly. Gu Xiling wiped her tears and walked toward the garden unwillingly. A moment later, Xing Kai entered the living room. When he saw Grandpa Gu, he didn't have enough confidence. He felt that he hadn't met Grandpa Gu's expectations. If you didn't do well, that's a man's problem. You shouldn't be stepped on by a woman. Xing Kai, although my granddaughter is mine, if you can't even deal with her, how are you going to deal with the Xing family? That's impossible. I want to hear the reason for the failure of the plan now. Tell me the main reason. Xing Kai had been thinking in the garden for an entire day. In addition, the humiliation that Gu Xiling had given him today was really unbearable. Therefore, he was ready to fight to the death. In the previous plan, there was only Third Master Long and a spy. The things had been successfully sent to Huangyao, and no one had discovered them. However, Xiling said that she wanted to deal with Hu Ran and asked me to arrange a spy to let Hu Ran and the Xing family kill each other. It was precisely because she exposed too much in front of Hu Ran that the plan was discovered by Xing Xiao. When Gu Xiling heard Xing Kai's explanation, she pointed at him and shouted, "Are you shameless? You heard it too." Even at the scene today, Mu Chichi said the same thing. You shouldn't have joined the plan at all, and you shouldn't have tried to use and humiliate Hu Ran for your own selfish desires. Isn't taking revenge on the Xing family your selfish desires? Gu Xiling laughed. Let me tell you, Xing Kai. Without me, you're nothing. It's even more impossible for you to have these opportunities to take revenge on the Xing family. When Grandpa Gu heard this, he reached out to stop Gu Xiling. Xiling, go back to your room. Grandpa. The problem is you. Don't you realize your mistake at all? Woman, don't be so domineering. If you're domineering, how can Kai grow up? Gu Xiling looked at her grandfather in disbelief. She really didn't expect her grandfather to stand on the side of an outsider. I'll go. Gu Xiling ran away as she cried and shouted. Mama Gu also chased after Gu Xiling. At this time, Grandpa Gu said to Xing Kai earnestly, I shouldn't be the one to teach you how to educate a woman. However, you've spoiled Xiling too much. A woman shouldn't interfere in a man's matters. But, Xing Kai had never expected that the man in front of him would actually stand on his side instead of helping his granddaughter humiliate him. Your godfather is still very satisfied with you. He's not disappointed in you. So, study hard. One day, you'll be able to achieve what you want. Thank you, Grandpa. Now go back to your room and control your woman. Don't let her ruin any of your plans. Xing Kai's attitude towards this old man was a little strange. Gu Xiling was his biological granddaughter. No matter what, he did not lose Grandpa Gu's support. That meant that he was not in a desperate situation yet. Moreover, it was Grandpa who allowed him to teach Gu Xiling a lesson, wasn't it? Moreover, Grandpa was right. He shouldn't have accommodated Gu Xiling from the beginning. Chapter 740. After returning to the room, Xing Kai saw Gu Xiling sitting on the sofa and throwing a tantrum. Her eyes were glaring at him aggressively. Before Xing Kai could say anything, Gu Xiling threw the cosmetic bottle on the table at him. I don't have a husband like you. Xing Kai did not dodge. Blood flowed from his forehead. Then, he grabbed Gu Xiling's neck and said fiercely, You're already married. It's too late to regret it. If you humiliate and trample on me like this again in the future, I'll drag you down with me. Gu Xiling, try it if you don't believe me. Gu Xiling was so frightened by Xing Kai that she did not dare to move. Although they usually quarreled, Xing Kai's gaze had never been so ferocious. It was frightening. It was as if she continued to quarrel, Xing Kai would really break her neck. Xing Kai saw that she was not resisting, so he let go of her hand. He stood up and said to her, What you should be thinking about now is how to get pregnant and stabilize your position in front of grandfather. If there's a next time and the plan still fails, I'll drag you to hell with me. You can't give birth at all. How can I get pregnant? Then think of a way. Gu Xiling sat on the sofa and burst into tears. She had never thought that one day her life would be so miserable and that she would be hurt so badly by a man. However, in Mu Chichi's opinion, Xing Kai and Gu Xiling were already twisted enough. How could they hope to live a normal life? That was strange. The midnight movie had just ended. At 1:30 a.m., Xingboan brought Ren Yufei out of the cinema. At this moment, there were no people on the streets. Xingboan took Ren Yufei for a walk home. After all, it was only 10 minutes away from Ren Yufei's apartment. It's been many years since I've watched a movie like this. On the way back, Xingboan held Ren Yufei's hand and said, I still remember the last time I watched a movie was when I first arrived in America. Isn't young master's life beautiful? Grandfather used to be very mean to everyone, even eighth brother. So, the brothers actually didn't have a happy childhood in the Xing family. Eighth brother had it the hardest at that time. Because of his existence, the other brothers had the opportunity to go abroad to manage the branch company, Xingboan explained. Xingboan explained. Grandpa has high standards for everyone, so our lives are really boring. Therefore, it's even more impossible for you to understand the joy we had when we were kids, barefoot on the street. The two of them were like old friends who had been talking to each other for many years. Soon, the two of them arrived at Ren Yufei's apartment. At that moment, Xingboan wished that his car had been stolen and that it would not appear in front of him. I'm home. It's too late, you should go home and rest. Ren Yufei did not see through Xingboan's intentions. He should have had enough of her in the cinema today. A man who was almost 30 years old had his first awakening of love and had already used all kinds of ways to act shamelessly. Xingboan did not say anything. Seeing that Ren Yufei was about to walk to the entrance of the corridor, he suddenly had the courage to go forward and grab Ren Yufei's wrist. He asked her, Tonight, can I stay? After Ren Yufei heard this, her heart began to beat faster. She was completely stunned on the spot. Seeing that she did not respond, Xingboan carried her in his arms and quickly walked up the apartment building. Then, like a child, he entered Ren Yufei's room. In fact, he was also very nervous, but he always felt that during this period of time with Ren Yufei, he had already developed a deep dependence and desire for her. He really wanted to have her, from body to heart. After entering, the atmosphere was a little awkward because Ren Yufei did not know what would happen next. The bed in her room was small to begin with. As she thought about it, Ren Yufei's face turned even redder. However, Xingboan did not let her escape. He sat on Ren Yufei's small bed and said to her, Yufei, come over here. Ren Yufei was a little hesitant, but she could not control her footsteps. When she got closer, Xingboan directly pulled her onto his legs and kissed her like a storm. Ren Yufei was a little uncomfortable at first because he was using too much force. However, when she thought that this was the feeling in the depths of his heart, Ren Yufei no longer had any burdens and could not help but respond. The fiery entanglement turned into an intense tumble. Their consciousness gradually faded away, and all that was left was their infatuation for each other. After spring, they wore less clothes, so it was exceptionally convenient to take them off. When Ren Yufei regained consciousness, she saw Xingboan's bronze-colored chest and abdominal muscles. She did not dare to go any further. Xingboan grabbed her hand and placed it on his waist. He encouraged her. Yufei, other than when I was young, you're the first woman who has been looked at like this by my mother without any restraints. Ren Yufei remembered that there seemed to be such a thing. This man and Hu Ran had been married for so long, but the two of them had not had sex. So, she was really his first woman. I want you. I want you now, but I also know that you still have concerns in your heart. If you say that you still have to think about it, then we'll stop. I'll continue to endure it, but if you're like me, eager to get each other, then don't talk so much. Ren Yufei turned her face away in embarrassment and said such a suggestive sentence. Xingboan was overjoyed. He no longer had to control his feelings and desires. It was just that this was the first time for both of them, so the process was not so smooth. However, it was also the most primitive impulse that made the two of them even more inseparable and unable to control themselves. In the midst of their passion, Xingboan did not forget to ask Ren Yufei, are you afraid of getting pregnant? If you don't want to have a child so early, then I will also stop. Xingboan was almost 30 years old, and she was not young anymore. Moreover, she liked children very much, so she did not reject having a new life coming into this world at all. However, being pregnant before marriage. Would it be a little unpleasant to hear about it? If you're worried about the status, then, we'll go and register tomorrow. Don't you need to ask Grandpa? Grandpa asked me to marry you as soon as possible, Xingboan whispered into Ren Yufei's ear. Ren Yufei trembled uncontrollably because that was her sensitive area. Forget it. We'll have children when we're both prepared. After saying that, Xingboan resisted the urge to continue and got up to go to the bathroom. Although Ren Yufei's body was empty, her heart was full. There was actually a man in this world who could stop in the process of love for a woman. Chapter 741. After thinking about it, Ren Yufei mustered up her courage and followed him into the bathroom. While the man was taking a shower, she hugged him. I don't regret it. Ha! Xingboan's voice was hoarse and unbearable. The desire that he had just suppressed came out again. We'll let nature take its course. If we get pregnant, we'll give birth. Even if you don't acknowledge him, I'll raise the child alone. After Xingboan heard this, he turned around and held Ren Yufei's cheek seriously. He said, I won't allow you to have such thoughts. The child belongs to both of us. I won't let you suffer alone. I'll definitely work hard to give you the best life. Ren Yufei also looked at Xingboan with a burning gaze. Their feelings were so strong, so what was there to restrain? So, the two of them kissed again, and it spread from the bathroom all the way to the bedroom. This time, Xingboan did not stop. That night, the two of them tasted each other and went crazy for each other. By the time they stopped, the sky was already turning blue. Xingboan curled up on Ren Yufei's small bed, not daring to move because Ren Yufei was lying in his arms. Seeing this woman so tired from being tormented by him, a strong sense of guilt rose in Xingboan's heart. Therefore, he planned to immediately mention the matter of the two of them getting married when he got home. However, old Master Xing was not stupid at all. His grandson had not been home for the whole night. Although he was old, he could still guess what was going on. Especially when he saw Xingboan's radiant and energetic face entering the Xing family's living room, he was even more certain that this old virgin had finally confessed. Grandpa, you're going to get married, aren't you? Old Master Xing sat in the living room and said very clearly. You didn't come back all night. Do you think your grandfather is as stupid as you? Old Master Xing snorted. Since it's already like this, hurry up and register. Do you need me to teach you? Don't wait for Xiao Ren to get pregnant before reporting to me. Otherwise, I'll really beat you to death. Grandpa, I never dared to think that I could find a woman I like, Xingboan said with emotion. If you're touched, don't say it. After you're done, hurry back to work. Because speaking of this matter, Grandpa Xing felt extremely guilty. If it wasn't for his stubbornness in the past, he wouldn't have nearly ruined his grandchildren's happiness. Luckily, he could make up for it now. By the way, you have to take care of little Ren's family. I understand. Xingboan took his ID and called Ren Yufei. The president and special assistant of Huang Yao were absent from work today in order to complete their marriage. She slept until noon. When she woke up, Xingboan was sitting in the living room. Hurry up and freshen up. After dinner, we'll go register. I've already talked to the Civil Affairs Bureau. Actually, I'm not that anxious, Ren Yufei said. You're not anxious, but I am. By the way, your parents, no need. Ren Yufei only used 2 words to interrupt Xingbowen. Marriage itself is my own business. I just want to live a good life. Xingbowen nodded and quickly looked away from Ren Yufei because he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself again. Men who had started their relationship were all like this. They couldn't be flirted with. Soon, the 2 of them went out together. Xingbowen drove Ren Yufei directly to the Civil Affairs Bureau. There was already someone waiting for them there. The procedure was very simple. It was just a matter of signing and stamping. A few minutes later, the wedding photos of the 2 of them came out. Then, they stamped and got their marriage certificate. From then on, their relationship as husband and wife was established. After getting the red booklet, Xingbowen held Ren Yufei's hand and said, "Today's marriage registration. Everything is too hasty, but I will definitely give you a grand wedding. Trust me. There's no hurry." Ren Yufei smiled and said, "Since I've already decided to marry you, I don't care about those ceremonies. But I care. I didn't marry you to make you sacrifice yourself for me. I understand." Ren Yufei tiptoed and kissed Xingbowen gently on the cheek. Xingbowen was satisfied and left with his men. "In principle, I'm not afraid of anyone knowing about our registration. But if you feel that it's inconvenient, you can hide it from the company for now and wait for the right time to make it public. However, there's one thing. You have to move to the Xing family. The apartment you're living in now is too small. I slept very poorly last night." After hearing this, Ren Yufei couldn't help but laugh. "I'll listen to your arrangements. Don't worry. The people in the Xing family are easy to get along with. I'll also find a time to arrange for you to meet my parents." Ren Yufei listened silently, enjoying this man's anxiety and nervousness with joy. She was married, and this man belonged to her. She had never dreamed that such a day would come. "I really want to tell the world now." Mu Chi-Chi was the first in the world. Xingbowen didn't have many friends. The only people who could share such good news without any scruples were Xing Xiao and his wife. From the phone, Mu Chi-Chi could hear Xingbowen's excitement because he could finally be with the person he liked. "Third brother, although you're very happy now, I have a few words that I have to tell you because I think no one else will tell you this other than me." "Go ahead." Xingbowen suddenly became nervous. Secretary Ren has no power or influence. She comes from an ordinary family. She'll definitely feel inferior and insecure when she suddenly marries into a rich family. So, don't just be happy. You have to give her enough confidence and security. Cinderella has entered a rich family. The outside world will have a lot of opinions about her. Don't be careless. You have to care about her psychological state at all times. Finally, protect her. She's your wife now, the person you should protect the most. Don't talk about it. In addition to protecting her physical safety, you have to protect her heart. After Xingbowen heard this, he smiled. "You're usually so carefree. I didn't expect you to nag me about this. Don't take my kindness for granted. Don't think that you've truly completed your life's major event after marrying Secretary Ren. Your life has just begun, and the challenges have just begun. You're a married person after all. You have a lot of experience." Xingbowen couldn't help but tease Mu Chi-Chi. "Don't worry. Even if you don't say it, there's still a model 8th brother there. No matter what, I can't do worse than him. You can't compare to him." After saying that, Mu Chi-Chi hung up. Chapter 742. After the 2 of them finished registering, they returned to the company. However, in the eyes of the employees, Xingbowen seemed to be in a particularly good mood today. "Didn't you see the president's happy face today?" Secretary Ren only came to work in the afternoon. What did the two of them do? The people below began to gossip. They're a couple. What do they do? It's none of our business. I heard that the president brought Secretary Ren to meet the chairman yesterday. Doesn't that mean that they've met his parents? Secretary Ren has always worked hard with the president, so I think the two of them are a good match. But Secretary Ren's family doesn't seem to be very good. Who cares about her? As long as it's true love. The group of people made a ruckus. They couldn't wait to dig out everything about the rich and powerful. Fortunately, although some people didn't think highly of Ren Yufei's family background, no one denied her as a person. At least, everyone in Huangyao recognized her contributions. It wasn't that Xing Bowen didn't hear the news. He also thought about Mu Qiqi's reminder to him at noon. If he really wanted to protect Ren Yufei, he had to completely protect her from the bottom of his heart. Therefore, using the excuse of Huang Yao's tribulation, Xing Bowen proposed to organize employee benefits at the meeting and let Ren Yufei take the credit. He wanted everyone to know that Ren Yufei had a great impact on him. However, this made Ren Yufei feel strange. She had just gone out to do something, but when she came back, she heard her colleagues thanking her. Thus, Ren Yufei knocked on the door and went to the president's office. What's going on? Everyone is thanking me. I just want them to know that I listen to you and put you in my heart. After Xing Bowen said that, he instructed Ren Yufei, get off work early today. I'll accompany you home to pack your things. You're moving to the Xing family. Do you remember? Ren Yufei nodded. In the future, you have to discuss this kind of thing with me. Otherwise, I won't know anything and it'll be very awkward. Okay, Mrs. Xing. Xing Bowen had suddenly gone from a dull student with zero foundation to a master of flirting. This really confirmed the saying that it was all because there was someone you liked, so everything became self-taught. In front of the person you like, you will be positive, you will become soft, romantic, and more able to understand feelings. Xing Bowen felt that his bitterness was finally over and the sweetness had come. Mu Qiqi and Tang Yan should have gone to congratulate Xing Bowen when he got married. However, the forensics lab was short of hands, and Mu Qiqi was called back as an assistant. Of course, for Mu Qiqi's safety, Tang Yan and Xing Xiao only allowed her to go once. Tang Yan was in the process of handing over the batch of diacetylmorphine that appeared in Huangyao to the Drug Enforcement Administration. Because he was not in this field now, he still had to leave the professional things to the professionals. The only one left in the Jianchuan branch was the mole in Huangyao. Because it involved a major case, the bureau approved the interrogation. However, the man sat in the interrogation room for an entire day, unwilling to confess anything of value. Captain Tang, this man insists that he doesn't know anything. He found it by chance and suspected that it was diacetylmorphine, so he immediately called the police. He refused to admit that he deliberately framed Huang Yao and claimed that he wasn't instructed by anyone. After an entire day of interrogation, Officer Long handed Tang Yan a blank paper. Have you checked his account, social media, call records, and 18 generations of his ancestors? Tang Yan asked. These won't come out so soon. I've already gone to the bank to retrieve his account information. Everything is normal. Then use some tricks, Tang Yan said. Tang Yan said. Everyone knew that it was Xing Kai who did it, but where did Xing Kai get the goods from? How did he send them to Huang Yao through a small merchant? Don't give up on this clue. Keep following him. Hasn't the case been transferred? I told you to keep following him, so keep following him. This was because he always believed that if there was really that circle in Jianchuan, then Third Master Long must have played an important role in it. And now, Qing Bin, that dangerous person, was under Third Master Long. He had to figure out the ins and outs of this matter. When Muqiqi heard the results of the interrogation, she also came out of the autopsy room and told Tang Yen in private, "I suggest that we follow Xingkai because Third Master Long knows that Xingkai is using him. He's anxious and wants revenge. If we follow Xingkai, we might be able to find something. This matter has nothing to do with Huang Yao or the Xing family. From today onwards, you and Shanshan don't get involved anymore. You understand what I'm saying?" "Understood." This was because Tang Yen and Xing Xiao were both doing this for their safety. If the gang that had made Tang Yen suffer so much years ago were to make a comeback, it would not be a joke. She cherished her life, she would not get involved casually. "In a day or two, I'll be going on a business trip again. Please take care of Shanshan." "Don't worry, Captain Tang." Muqiqi understood what Tang Yen meant. She was not afraid of anything else, but Qingbin's matter made Tang Yen very afraid. He was afraid that Qingbin would take advantage of his absence to attack Feng Shanshan. Although Tang Yen did not say it explicitly, from his tone, Muqiqi could tell that this man seemed to have seen through life. Nothing could affect him anymore, but Muqiqi felt that Feng Shanshan's importance would definitely surpass his own life. Heartless people were often the most affectionate. Of course, Tang Yen also took her suggestion seriously. Following Xingkai was indeed a way. Not only could he investigate Xingkai, but he could also monitor Third Master Long. It was just that he had already handed over this matter, so he could not do it openly. Or rather, he could directly tell this suggestion to the people in the narcotics department. But he himself also needed a reliable informant, because it concerned his and Feng Shanshan's lives, so he could not be careless. Actually, if it were not for this, Muqiqi really wanted to see how Third Master Long would cause trouble for Xingkai. This was also worth looking forward to, wasn't it? "Chi-Chi, what are you doing? Come and help me." The professor's back hurt. The other forensic doctors were out in the field, so he called Muqiqi over to help the professor. Xingkai knew that he had to deal with the aftermath of these two matters. So, after dealing with Gu Xiling, he called his godfather and made an appointment for dinner. At this time, only his godfather could save his life. Chapter 743. Xingkai's godfather's surname was Jin, and his name was Bo. Although he was his godfather in name, Xingkai had only seen him a few times. It was not easy for his godfather to give him the honor of eating. Xingkai was very attentive, but this godfather had a kind face and never put on airs. He was always kind and pleasant to Xingkai. "I know you don't like exaggerated things, so I brought you here. Kai, you have to remember that if you want to keep your position for a long time, you have to understand one thing. Keeping a low profile and being inconspicuous is the best protection." As Jin Bo drank his tea, he said to him earnestly, "Tell me, what do you want me to help you with this time? Last time, the matter with the Xing family failed. Now the police are investigating me, and Third Master Long also wants to deal with me. So, I came to seek protection from you, godfather." Xingkai poured tea for Jin Bo and said humbly, "I can't hold my head up in front of my wife's family. I can't be a good person." "I see." Jin Bo was deep in thought. "You don't have to worry about the police, but Third Master Long might make you suffer a little. Bring some gifts and personally apologize. We're all friends, right? There's no need to make a big fuss." Xingkai understood what Jin Bo meant and immediately thanked him. "Thank you for your guidance, godfather. You still have a lot to learn. There's no rush. Take your time." Xingkai smiled apologetically and ate with the old man attentively. He guessed that his aptitude was very mediocre to Jin Bo, but his godfather was willing to spend time and energy on teaching him. This meant that he might have other uses for Jin Bo, but even he did not know this use. No matter what, he had to solve the current desperate situation first. As for your wife, a man has a career, so he can naturally conquer a woman. It's been like this since ancient times. Don't worry. Since you've acknowledged me as your godfather, I will definitely not mistreat you. Take out your shares in Huang Yao and I'll teach you how to make other investments. Then I'll thank you, godfather. After hearing Jin Bo's words, Xing Kai felt at ease. Of course, he would also do as Jin Bo said and personally visit Third Master Long to deal with the matter. He had messed up dealing with the Xing family. If he did not know how to deal with the aftermath, then he would really be useless. After eating with Jin Bo, it was already around 11 o'clock at night when he returned home. Gu Xiling saw that he reeked of alcohol and questioned him, "You still dare to go out to drink and fool around in your current state? Do you think that Grandpa will unconditionally indulge you?" Xing Kai did not say anything. He dragged her out of the room and locked her outside the door. Gu Xiling was infuriated. She knocked on the door so hard that even Mama Gu and Grandpa Gu came over. "What now?" Grandpa Gu asked Gu Xiling. "Grandpa, look at this scumbag. He locked me outside the door and didn't let me in. Not only did he go out to drink and fool around, but he also treated your grandson like this." Before Gu Xiling could cry out, Grandpa Gu slapped her in the face, leaving her dumbfounded. "Can you stop looking for trouble every day? Can you act like a rich young lady? Do you know that your husband went out to see Godfather? You're so annoying every day. Even if you're not tired, I'm tired for you. Gu Xiling, if you don't want to live a good life, you can leave this house. I won't stop you. If you continue to shout and shout at home, you can get lost." Gu Xiling was dumbfounded by her grandfather's words. She covered her face and did not dare to say another word. "You don't know what's good for you." Then, Grandpa Gu pulled Mama Gu away and returned to their respective rooms. Gu Xiling could only stare at her bedroom door with hatred. "Xing Kai, you're good. No one can humiliate me, Gu Xiling. Don't you want a child? Fine, I'll make you a cuckold, and you're even raising a child for someone else." Of course, Gu Xiling had always liked strong men the most. She was unwilling to get pregnant with any one of them. A strong man should be like this. In her heart, there was only Xing Xiao. But Xing Xiao would never have anything to do with her. Don't even dream about it. Mu Chichi borrowed it from the forensics department for a day. Actually, this was not a complicated case. The deceased was a 23-year-old woman who had just graduated from an ordinary university. She worked in an accounting company from 9 to 5 every day and had a regular boyfriend. The cause of death was poison. Because she had just broken up with her boyfriend, she had been dead for more than 10 days. She died in her bed at home. In addition to the suicide note and the fact that there were no fingerprints in the room, this matter was naturally classified as a suicide. However, the professor had borrowed her, which meant that the professor still had doubts about this matter. Mu Chichi and the professor carefully examined the body together. After that, Mu Chichi and Officer Long went to the scene. "There are so many of us. We've looked at the scene over and over again, but we didn't find anything suspicious. I don't believe that the branch office can't do without Xiao Qi." Senior Brother Long was a little unconvinced. "It's not that the branch office can't do without me, but you guys are really too careless. Captain Tang isn't here, and the professor can't bear to see you guys like this." Mu Chichi smiled and explained, "It's almost 12 o'clock, and I'm still here with you guys. I haven't even complained, and you guys are complaining. Then did you find anything? Do you know why the professor called me over? Because he found out something from the deceased. The day before she committed suicide, she had gone to get her nails done. Did she want to die beautifully? If that's the case, why didn't she put on makeup before she took the poison? Mu Chi-Chi explained to Officer Long. Second, I found on the deceased's computer that she had searched for a travel guide to Saipan before she died. Third, as you said, she had a boyfriend, but when the forensic doctor came to investigate, he found that the room was clean. Even the deceased's fingerprints were almost erased. Don't you think it's strange? So, it's not that I have any special abilities, but that you guys are really careless. Mu Chi-Chi patted Senior Brother Long's shoulder helplessly. Senior Brother Long was stunned for a moment. He really couldn't find anything to refute. So, according to you and the professor, this matter isn't a suicide. The professor and I came to that conclusion after analyzing it, but after Captain Tang saw the scene, he called me over. Isn't he even scarier? You mean that Captain Tang also thinks that this case isn't simple? Mu Chi-Chi chuckled. It was probably because Tang Yan's experience in handling cases was already rich enough. Chapter 744. The reason why Tang Yan called Mu Chi-Chi over was naturally because he realized that things were not simple. As for how it was not simple and who was involved, these were the future direction of the Special Investigations team. Otherwise, Tang Yan would have concluded this case a long time ago. Why would he go through so much trouble? Mu Chi-Chi left the deceased's apartment and saw Xing Zhao's car waiting downstairs. Mu Chi-Chi took off her smelly coat and drove to the door. She saw Xing Zhao holding the documents in his hand. Among the documents was the set of bookmarks she had given him. However, this bookmark looked smoother than when she made it. Moreover, it was sealed with plastic. Is this the set of bookmarks I gave you? Xing Zhao closed the documents and clipped the bookmarks. I've already given it to you. It has nothing to do with you. Mu Chi-Chi pouted and could not help but sigh. Stingy. At most, I'll make another set for myself. Don't you dare. Xing Zhao threw a clean towel on her head. There can only be one set of this. After hearing this, Mu Chi-Chi could not help but smile. She raised her head and deliberately acted cute. So precious. All right, I won't make this. I'll make something else. Xing Zhao did not say anything else. He only instructed Su Che to drive immediately. Su Che smelled the strange smell on Mu Chi-Chi's body. Just like Xing Zhao, he did not even frown now because he was used to it. After all, the corpse had been dead for more than 10 days. It was spring now. The stench must have seeped into her bones. Mu Chi-Chi knew that, so when she returned home, she stayed in the bathroom for 2 whole hours. It was so long that Xing Zhao thought that she had fallen asleep in the bathtub, so he took her bathrobe and entered the house. You've been bathing for too long. Come out. Xing Zhao grabbed her arm and dragged her out of the water. Then, he wrapped her in the bathrobe. Mu Chi-Chi's hands were wrinkled. She was a little helpless. It's only spring now. If it's summer, it'll be even scarier. Your car will be filled with my smell. Zhongting's biotechnology company is already speeding up the development of products to remove odors. The perfume I made for you previously will be kept everywhere in the future. Xing Zhao hugged her and sat on the sofa. He dried her hair for her and sniffed it when it was half dry. This imported shampoo is still very effective. Which girl doesn't want to smell good? Sigh. Mu Chi-Chi felt that it was a pity. The worst thing about being a forensic doctor was this charming smell. But when I thought that the deceased had a lot of secrets to share, I felt that there was nothing to complain about. This is the mission of a forensic doctor. Mu Chi-Chi leaned against his chest and tried to suck in his scent. You smell so good. After Xing Zhao heard that, he took the hairdryer and dried her hair. I'll let you smell as much as you want later. On the other hand, Tang Yan had just returned home. Mu Chi-Chi was only a forensic assistant, but he had to take charge of the overall situation. Feng Shanshan made supper and heard about the investigation process from Tang Yan. Both he and Mu Chi-Chi found something unusual about the deceased. However, the confession of the deceased's boyfriend matched the evidence. In other words, the boyfriend was not a suspect at all. In that case, there must be another reason for the deceased's suicide. Mu Chi-Chi only found this part. When Tang Yan investigated the scene for the first time, he found a name card under the bed of the deceased. He didn't tell anyone. Instead, he asked Old Ching to verify the other party's identity. He realized that it seemed difficult to investigate this matter further. Haven't we encountered this type of case before? We have to continue investigating from the deceased's social circle. He must have contacted someone else. Feng Shanshan leaned on the table and watched Tang Yan eat supper. Tang Yan did not say anything. When Feng Shanshan saw this, she immediately guessed. You have a clue, right? It's just that no one said anything. Why aren't you eating? Feng Shanshan looked at it in disdain and replied, It's precisely because I made it myself that I feel it's very greasy. It looks a little unbearable. Don't change the topic. Do you know something? Don't ask anymore. I'll ask the chief tomorrow. After Tang Yan said that, he stood up and cleaned up the dishes. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and did not ask further. However, she felt an uncomfortable feeling in her stomach. In the future, she would make something light. After eating supper, it was already 1:30 in the morning. The two of them lay on the bed. Feng Shanshan was already in a daze and was about to fall asleep. However, Tang Yan suddenly said to her, I'm going on a business trip again. Yes, I know, Feng Shanshan said. I saw you packing your luggage just now. I will come back safely. I'll try my best not to get hurt. Tang Yan hugged Feng Shanshan and promised seriously. You just have to focus on your classes and study hard. It won't happen. When I come back, I'll tutor you well. Don't be so smug. You won't. There's still the professor. I'm not so bad that I can't even find someone to ask me questions, Feng Shanshan said softly. When I'm not around, don't go out casually. If there's anything, discuss it with Mu Chi-Chi. If you keep nagging, don't sleep. Feng Shanshan turned over and lay on Tang Yan's body, pressing her leg against a certain part of the man. Tang Yan did not hold back and took back his sovereignty. Anyway, he would leave at dawn, so he allowed them to be crazy all night. The next morning, Tang Yan got up, kissed Feng Shanshan's forehead, and left with his luggage. Although Feng Shanshan wanted to send him off, her entire body was sore and weak, so she could only lie down obediently. However, after sleeping for a whole day, she did not get better. In the evening, Feng Shanshan called Mu Chi-Chi. Chi, come over when you're free. I'm not feeling well. Only then did Mu Chi-Chi remember that Captain Tang was already on a business trip. So, after school, she immediately rushed to Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan's house. Feng Shanshan was lying on the bed, her face pale. Mu Chi-Chi touched her forehead and found that she was having a fever. Then, she looked at the marks on her body and immediately understood. Did you go overboard last night? I have abdominal pain, Feng Shanshan said with difficulty. It's never happened before. The doctor is on the way. Bear with it a little longer. Mu Chi-Chi boiled water for her and wiped her face. When the doctor arrived, she immediately stood to the side. Of course, in order to avoid suspicion, Mu Chi-Chi found a female doctor. She squatted by the bed and observed Feng Shanshan for a while. Finally, she asked her, "When was the last time you had your period?" Feng Shanshan thought for a moment and shook her head. "I don't remember, but there's a record on my phone. I suggest you go to the hospital for a checkup. I suspect that she doesn't have a cold or a fever. She's pregnant." When the two of them heard this, their eyes widened. Especially Feng Shanshan, she immediately propped herself up from the bed. "No. That's possible." Chapter 745. Of course. Feng Shanshan was very sure at first, but when she said the second half of her sentence, she began to hesitate. Because there were a few times when she and Tang Yen were crazy, she wasn't sure if Tang Yen was wearing contraceptives. But when she thought about it seriously, Tang Yen was such a careful person. It was impossible for him to forget about it. "Get up," Mu Chi-Chi said hatefully. "I'll take you to the hospital for a checkup now. I think the doctor might have misdiagnosed us. We have contraceptives. You were hesitating just now, but now you're sure." Mu Chi-Chi glared at her and found some clothes for her. "We'll know after the checkup." Seeing that Mu Chi-Chi was like a long-winded old woman, Feng Shanshan had no choice but to get out of bed and get up. "It's only the first day Captain Tang left. Is this how you take care of yourself? He has to bear a lot of responsibility for my actions." Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. That person knew that he was going to leave early this morning, so he let go last night. Therefore, all her discomfort was because of that man. Mu Chi-Chi didn't want to talk nonsense with her, so she brought her to the hospital and planned to go to the obstetrics and gynecology department. Feng Shanshan felt that it was unlikely because she thought about it carefully. Tang Yen had contraceptives, but looking at her period records, she didn't have the confidence to reply to Mu Chi-Chi. Because of her period, it was almost half a month late. "If you really have a child, what do you plan to do?" On the way to the hospital, Mu Chi-Chi asked Feng Shanshan, who was leaning against her. "With your current situation and Captain Tang's situation, are you going to have a baby or not?" "Yes," Feng Shanshan answered firmly. "The child of the man I love. He didn't betray me or abandon me. Why shouldn't I have a baby? Moreover, the last abortion has already damaged my body. If I don't have a baby, I'm afraid that no baby will be willing to be reincarnated with me in the future. You're living a much crazier life than me now. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to say that." Mu Chi-Chi still glared at her. "Maybe the situation isn't as bad as I think. We'll talk about it after the checkup. I still remember telling Tang Yen that no matter how hard he fought outside or how he abandoned me, I wouldn't complain. But I only hope that when I give birth, he can be by my side. I found a criminal police officer. I know what I have to face, and I know that what I have to face is different from others." Feng Shanshan replied calmly. She had already prepared herself thousands of times in her heart. She was very clear-headed. "Don't you think about yourself? Mu Chi-Chi, if it were you today and Tang Yen was Xing Xiao, it would be strange if you could still ask such a question. You would only do something even crazier than me." The two of them had been rivals for a long time, so they knew each other's thoughts very well. Mu Chi-Chi did not say anything because she suddenly thought of Lu Qianqian. How could she have so many friends like that? Soon, Su Che sent them to the hospital. After paying for the checkup, Mu Chi-Chi followed him into the ultrasound room. "Do you see that? The small dot in the middle is the pregnancy sac. Congratulations, you're pregnant." The doctor pointed at the floating image and told Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan was stunned for a moment, and so was Mu Chi-Chi. "But your current condition is not very good. I suggest you do a comprehensive checkup to ensure the health of the mother and the fetus. The doctor handed the results to Muchichi and gave her family a suggestion. Even now, Feng Shanshan felt that her body was light and did not feel real at all. This was a completely different feeling from before. This time, she was pleasantly surprised and happy because the child in her stomach was Tang Yan's child, the crystallization of her and Tang Yan. When she came out of the ultrasound room, Muchichi saw Feng Shanshan smiling and knew what she was thinking. However, as her mother's family, Muchichi also felt that this was a happy event. However, she was more worried about Feng Shanshan. She was not like Xingboan and Ren Yufei, who let nature take its course. That was what everyone wanted. Feng Shanshan had already lost her studies for Tang Yan. She was already in danger. Not only did she follow Tang Yan without a name, but she was also pregnant. Tang Yan also went on business trips every now and then. Even though she was living in the safest area in Jianchuan, there was no one by her side who could take care of and protect her. How much did she care about Tang Yan that she was willing to take such a huge risk to give birth to a new life? You're still laughing. Muchichi was furious. Do you know your current situation? I can't cry. Feng Shanshan patted Muchichi's shoulder to comfort her. Trust me. If it were you, you would do the same for Xingshao. Don't talk about me so easily. My man won't let me get pregnant in such a difficult environment. Muchichi snorted. Now, let's go for a full body checkup. If you want to be hospitalized, you have to stay in the hospital obediently. You're not allowed to go anywhere. Speaking of which, I'm really thankful for the money old Master Xing gave me. I don't have to worry about money now. You're still talking about it. If she wasn't pregnant, Muchichi would have really hit her. In order to accompany Feng Shanshan for the checkup, Muchichi specially applied for leave. Progesterone, genetic diseases, and she stayed in the hospital for the whole day. Of course, Tang Yan was on a business trip and was now isolated from the world. It didn't seem realistic to tell him immediately. Fortunately, you guys went too far last night and didn't hurt the child. But the doctor also said that you have to stay in the hospital for 3 days. Muchichi, has anyone told you that you're really naggy? Feng Shanshan lay on the bed and couldn't help but laugh as she looked at Muchichi's wrinkled face. Then who is it for? I transferred the 5th aunt who took care of me to take care of you. She's very good at taking care of your body. My problems in that area were all solved by her diet therapy. Muchichi began to arrange Feng Shanshan's life. Before Captain Tang comes back, you're not allowed to go anywhere other than the hospital and home. If you really care about this child, be obedient. Okay, I'll listen. Feng Shanshan nodded seriously. This was not a joke. Seeing that she really liked the arrival of this child, Muchichi was also discouraged. The anger in her heart couldn't be vented no matter what, so she said, with Captain Tang's situation, I don't expect him to take good care of you. But since you have a child, there are some things that have to be done. I'm not stupid. I won't not ask for help when I know it's dangerous or deliberately run into a knife. Don't worry, Feng Shanshan promised. Chapter 746. Seeing how nervous Muchichi was, Feng Shanshan smiled. Although the two of them had always been enemies, in this world, even Tang Yan did not treat her as well as Muchichi did. Say, why do you dote on an opponent so much? Feng Shanshan could not help but ask. If I were you, it would be so easy to just let it go. Stop being sarcastic. I'll make a call now. Lie down and rest. Muchichi took out her phone and wanted to call 5th aunt. However, just as she got up, she was stopped by Feng Shanshan. So, she turned her head and heard Feng Shanshan's words. For the first 20 years, I've been living an absurd life. I thought that being alone and having fun was the best explanation for life. However, I met you in Tang Yen. You're a saint and a righteous person. You actually made me have the thought of becoming a Buddha. So, I've turned over a new leaf and had a new life. I don't have parents or other relatives. I've done many bad things, and in the end, I even suffered retribution. So, other than this child, I only have you two now. Today, I'm pregnant with Tang Yan's child. I don't regret it. If you're in danger in the future, I'll go through fire and water. This is also the truth. So, as long as it's for you, I'll do my best to protect you. So what if the situation is difficult? As long as I'm alive, nothing is a big deal. Do you think I'll be safe just because I took a step back and aborted the child? I just want to give myself and Tang Yan a home. After all, before he met me, he didn't have a home either. Mu Chi-Chi could not help but feel touched by Feng Shanshan's sudden words. She used to have nothing and she used to worry about gains and losses. However, as long as it was for Xing Xiao, she could give up everything. Because they loved one person with all their heart. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. With a friend like me and a man like Captain Tang, what else do you want? With all the sins you've committed before, you should be content to have such a blessing. Mu Chi-Chi turned her head and snorted. I'll be back soon. Rest well. After leaving the ward, Mu Chi-Chi had a strong desire in her heart. She had to help Feng Shanshan keep the child. So, in order to ensure Feng Shanshan's safety, she would do anything. Soon, Fifth Aunt received the notice and was also willing to go to the hospital to take care of pregnant women. After all, that was her specialty. Not only that, but Mu Chi-Chi also arranged for bodyguards to protect Feng Shanshan before Tang Yan came back. Because of these trivial matters, Mu Chi-Chi was busy for the whole day. When she dragged her tired body home, Xing Xiao hooked his finger at her. Mu Chi-Chi immediately leaned on Xing Xiao and let out a long sigh of relief. It's all thanks to my husband's diligence that I have so much money to spend. That's why I can get things done so easily. Husband, you've worked hard. Xing Xiao looked down at her little head. He did not know what she was thinking. Do you have something to ask of me? You should know that Feng Shanshan is pregnant. I want to ask if Zhongting has the relevant department to develop a positioning system. I want to get a set for her to monitor her safety. That's just a small matter, Xing Xiao replied. There's no need for a separate research and development department. Why are you so easy to talk to today? Usually, if I care about Feng Shanshan for even a second, you'll pull a long face. But you didn't today. Have you changed? Xing Xiao and Tang Yan had an agreement to help take care of each other's women. Therefore, he naturally had to spare no effort in protecting Feng Shanshan. Otherwise, how could Feng Shanshan give Fifth Aunt whenever she wanted and a bodyguard whenever she wanted? I'll let Su Che handle this matter. Is there anything else? Not for the time being. Also, I'm very envious of her. Mu Chi-Chi leaned on Xing Xiao and whispered the latter half of her sentence. I'm extremely envious that she can give birth to a child for the man she loves. Don't you know that giving birth is very painful? Xing Xiao stroked her hair and asked. Of course I know, but I'm also envious. I don't know how long I have to wait before I can give birth to a baby for you. Mu Chi-Chi propped herself up and looked at Xing Xiao regretfully. I can't let you be a father when you're almost 30, right? What did you say? Xing Xiao immediately pinched Mu Chi-Chi's cheek and asked. I didn't mean to say that you're old. Xing Xiao pinched her even harder when he heard that. Let go. I really want to give birth to a child for you. I want to see you be a father. There'll be plenty of chances in the future. There's plenty of time in the future. Xing Xiao let go and let Mu Chi lie down again. We'll talk about this in the future. We'll talk about it in the future. Xing Xiao looked at her indignant head and smiled helplessly. Giving birth to a child and giving birth to a new life required a lot of responsibility and energy. She could still enjoy her freedom and her own time now, but she still didn't know how to be content. To a man, it was just a matter of sperm, but he had to torture his woman for so long. He felt afraid when he thought about it. Xing Xiao, who clearly did not care about anyone and did not care about any danger, was very careful when it came to Mu Chi. In fact, his wish was very simple. He wanted Mu Chi to be healthy and stay by his side for a long time. This was the difference between a man and a woman. Women could give very little to men. The only way they could prove that they loved this man was to be willing to give birth to a child for him. At least, Feng Shanshan was like this, and so was Mu Chi. In the evening, at Third Master Long's manor, Xing Kai came with a gift. From the looks of it, he was planning to ask for forgiveness. When Third Master Long heard that it was Xing Kai, he sneered. I didn't go look for him, but he came knocking on my door first. Therefore, he signaled with his eyes for Qingbin to go and investigate first. Originally, he had planned to leave this matter to Qingbin. Qingbin knew that if he wanted a chance to take revenge, he had to rely on Third Master Long. Therefore, he obeyed his orders and put away his respect in front of Third Master Long. He walked out of Third Master Long's manor fiercely. When Xing Kai saw him appear, he wanted to go forward and greet him, but Qingbin kicked him to the ground. You still have the face to come. It's a misunderstanding. This is all a misunderstanding. I came here today to ask for forgiveness. I also brought a small gift. I hope Third Master Long won't hold a grudge. Xing Kai sat on the ground and quickly explained while asking his follower to open the box. When Qingbin saw so much cash, he hesitated for a moment before returning to the manor to ask for instructions. Chapter 747. Since you're here to make peace, then let's meet. After all, you can go against anyone but money. Third Master Long wiped his hands as he answered Qingbin. These young masters of the Xing family are really interesting. Qingbin looked at Third Master Long and did not say anything. Because he saw Third Master Long's undisguised love for power and benefits. Then, Xing Kai entered the manor. As expected, he brought a whole box of good things and offered them to Third Master Long. Third Master Long was shocked by this incident, so I specially came here to apologize to you. I hope that you won't hold a grudge against me. Third Master Long glanced at Xing Kai and laughed mockingly. You and your other two brothers are really different. Xing Xiao, let's not talk about it for now. Second young master actually let the idiotic third young master ride on his head. It's really unbelievable. To tell you the truth, my third brother isn't stupid at all. He and eighth brother were just acting to cause you to misunderstand me, Xing Kai quickly explained. After Third Master Long heard this, he laughed again. You brothers are indeed a headache. However, since you came today, I can let bygones be bygones. However, in the future, I hope that second young master can understand what it means to mind your own business. No, Third Master, I'm not here today just to apologize. I hope to cooperate with you. Second young master, you must be joking. Why should I offend Zhongding for you? Third Master Long did not think much of it. Third Master needs protection, don't you? As long as you cooperate with me, I guarantee that what you're doing now will only be smoother than before because there's someone behind me. At this point, Xingkai whispered a name into Third Master Long's ear. Third Master Long fell silent when he heard this. What do you want? I want the Xing family to be destroyed. Xingkai directly stated his goal. Of course, revenge is only secondary. My ultimate goal is to establish a chain of common interests. Wait for me to think about it. I'll give you a reply. Third Master Long needed to think carefully. After all, Xingkai's offer was very tempting, but he had broken his oath not to interfere in other people's family affairs. He did not like to get involved in the grudges of rich families. I'm not in a hurry. Please accept my gift, Third Master. I'll take my leave first, Qing Bin, send the second young master off, Third Master Long instructed. Qing Bin nodded and escorted Xingkai out of Third Master Long's manor. At this time, Xingkai said to Qing Bin, I know you bear hatred, but Third Master Long is old and cunning. If you want a chance to take revenge, you can come to me. Young people will always have more common topics to talk about. What do you think? Qing Bin was stunned. It seemed that Xingkai had put in a lot of effort to come here. Moreover, he was right. Third Master Long kept avoiding the matter of avenging him. If he waited any longer, Tang Yan would be promoted again. This is my business card. Let's have a drink sometime. Xingkai left the things behind and turned to open the door of his car. Qing Bin looked at the business card and was indeed tempted. Xingkai was here to fish, not only for Third Master Long, the white shark, but also for Qing Bin, the piranha. After all, he needed to quickly build his own faction and make the Xing family see him in a different light. Late at night, at the Xing family home. For the past few days, Xing Bowen had been holding Ren Yufei's hand and entering the house. It was as if he was afraid that others would not know that he already had a new wife, and they were very loving. This was really disliked by old Master Shang. Can you restrain yourself when you're home? There are other people at home. Grandpa, we're newlyweds. You have to understand me. Xing Bowen raised his and Ren Yufei's hands and said, We've had dinner outside. You don't have to call us later. Old Master Xing rolled his eyes at him and continued to play chess with sixth brother. Ren Yufei felt that she had not done anything filial for old Master Xing since she moved in, so she felt a little guilty. So, once she returned to her room, she said to Xing Bowen, Should I do something for my family too? Xing Bowen nodded. Xing Bowen held her hand again and shook his head. Do you know why I've been sticking to you like this for the past few days? Ren Yufei shook her head. Because you're the young mistress of the Xing family. I want everyone in the Xing family to respect you and know your identity. It's good that you want to do something for your family. But even if you don't do anything, no one will blame you. Ren Yufei thought that he was just sticky and full of lust. She did not expect him to have such considerations. He was afraid that she would be bullied as soon as she entered the Xing family. I think everyone is fine. I'm also willing to integrate into this family. That's because you haven't seen Xiao Qi when she first came to the Xing family. The current Xing family has already been trained by the couple, especially Grandpa. No matter what, as your husband, in order to protect my wife, there are some things I have to do. Ren Yufei was touched when she heard this. I really don't regret marrying you. I won't give you a chance to regret it. After saying that, Xing Bowen's kiss came quickly. He did not give Ren Yufei any time to react. She knew that it would end up like this. This man had really been unrestrained in the past few days. However, she was willing to cooperate because she also longed for this man. So, soon, the two of them fell on the bed. Once they took off, it was out of control. If Muchichi knew that Xing Bowen was so hungry after eating, she would definitely laugh her head off. After all, he would always talk about being in a mess. Just as the two of them were in high spirits, Xingbowen's phone rang in his ear. Xingbowen looked at the caller ID and threw his phone away. However, Ren Yufei took it back. Answer it. Chi-Chi is looking for you. There must be something urgent. Xingbowen felt like killing someone at this moment. He could only lie down and pick up the phone. What's the matter? Mu Chi-Chi wanted to ask if she wanted to prepare a set for Ren Yufei since she was making jewelry with a GPS system. However, she heard Xingbowen's magnetic voice. Mu Chi-Chi immediately smiled. Did I disturb you and Secretary Ren? If you know, hurry up and hang up. Xingbowen couldn't take it anymore, and his tone was very sad. Alright then, you guys continue. We'll talk tomorrow. Xingbowen put down his phone and looked at Ren Yufei pitifully. Next time, I'll find this time to call them. Why are you so stingy? We can continue. Ren Yufei was under him. Her face was crimson, and she looked very alluring. Mu Chi-Chi never expected that Xingbowen would look like that after getting rid of the old virgin. She found it extremely funny. Xing Xiao saw that she was overjoyed and picked her up from the sofa. You need a little punishment. Why? Mu Chi-Chi's eyes widened. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.